You still get all your money at the end. you take an annuity.
But you guys are both correct. So back in 2015, when he originally started it, it was $1 billion.
$1 billion.
But the thing is, though, with that is, even if you were to put in a whole bunch of different you know how many different variations of brackets you would have to play just to get to have the chance of playing every single possible outcome of the bracket? You're talking about 64 games that be played.
Right.
It's just, okay, you have everything one way, and then you
have to count the play-in games too?
Yeah, I guess.
So it's more than 64 games.
It's really 66 games.
Exactly.
No, there's no way.
Why didn't they go to $1 billion a year? That would sound better.
Yeah, $1 billion a year for the rest of your life. No one's going to hit it.
Never, ever, ever.
He could offer, I'll trade my bank account for your bank account if you give me a perfect bracket.
Because we always say, that'll never happen, and then it happens. Getting the lottery, getting the NCAA tournament bracket will never happen.
Well,
it's just mathematically impossible.
Wasn't there like this autistic kid that
he won the pool, but he didn't get them all right.
He didn't get them all right.
Okay.
Nobody's ever gotten them all right.
But he had like the closest ever.
Yeah, but
right?
the closest ever wins you with $10,000 or whatever the prize is.
I'm sure someone's had like maybe one wrong.
I don't even know if anybody's been that close. I know when people have like 2 or 3 wrong, that's unheard of.
Well, the thing is that like, all right, so several years ago, I went on a run, and
how many pools did you play?
One pool.
Okay,
I'm a purist, man. I play one pool.
Then you got these trapezoids who play like 50 pools, thinking that they got a better shot.
I'll get in 2 different pools, but I play the same exact pool every time, both times. I don't contradict the pool.
Okay.
I don't do that. I stay.
You know, like the touts that go on one radio show and pick one team, and then go on a different show and pick a different team.
Didn't you just love Buffalo about an hour ago?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, things happen. No, but even me, like I went on a run and I had 3 wrong. 3 wrong entering the Elite 8.
Did you win?
No.
See,
no, because everything fell apart. Because even though you have the upset, you take them early. You say, okay, like there was a few years ago, like I had Murray State knocking off Vanderbilt, who was a 13 knocking off a 4. And they beat them, but then it's like, I had Murray State out the next game. No one's going to take them 2-3 rounds to go. These are teams that make those runs. No one has these Lehighs that are going all the way.
No, exactly.
Nobody.
I have, according to the NCAA.
We have breaking news now? Oh, I love when we go to breaking news on the show and we actually correct. We don't even have to wait for Snopes to get it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
To say that we're wrong when they're wrong.
And then apologize because they were wrong, that we were right.
So Snopes, by the way, we must say, is not the be-all, end-all of fact-checking sites.
I mean, they do.
No, they're damn good.
They're very good.
But they also screw up.
Sure.
They also
Snopes. Do you follow Snopes at all?
No, I don't, Tony.
Well, you don't have to follow it. It's like if you hear something and somebody says, hey, did you hear this story? You go to Snopes.com and they supposedly scope it all out and give you the facts. Except they were wrong about a couple of things recently.
Well, yeah, because you have to follow the money. Anyway, March Madness, longest perfect bracket streak that the NCAA knows of, and this is as of this year.
Show me the money.
Yes. Is the longest anyone went through was 25 games to start the tournament. But according to Darren Ravel with ESPN, the 34 straight is the longest a verified bracket from an online game has stayed perfect.
Yeah, but that's still 34 games. That means, so the first day there's 16, right? No, the first day, the first weekend is how many games? So they get down from 64 to 32. They cut it in half the first weekend, right? And then from 32, what's half of 32?
16.
Right, the Sweet 16. So you've got the first weekend, you've got 64 teams, half of them are eliminated. So that's 16 games played, right?
Correct.
And then you go 32, and then half of those 16 teams are eliminated. You're down to the Sweet 16,
right,
then the Elite 8, the Final 4, and then the championship game.
Right. And so since 1985, which is when the bracket format started, nobody, according to the NCAA, and they couldn't find any verified bracket that showed this, that was perfect going into the Sweet 16. So nobody.
Even into the Sweet 16?
No, they have not been able to find any bracket verified.
Wow.
Screw it. I'll give anybody who has a perfect bracket $1 billion.
I'll give you $100 billion.
It's impossible.
So they're saying that it's been widely reported that there were 2 rounds in 2010, but they have not been able to verify it.
Because somebody gets screwed up early. I mean, there's a lot of 4-12 upsets, 5-12 upsets.
5-12 is the popular.
5-12 upsets, so people always look for those.
That's the first thing you do. You look on the pool, you go, okay, where's the 5-12?
Exactly.
It's going to happen.
But then even if you get one of those right, and there's a couple of them, you're still going to screw up another game. It's just the way it goes.
Sure.
Because a favorite's going to lose somewhere in the middle of this tournament. A 1 seed will fall, and when a 1 seed falls before the Sweet 16,
it ruins everything.
It does. It ruins most of the brackets.
Yep.
In fact, most of the brackets are pretty much out as far as perfect brackets are concerned the first weekend alone. Sometimes the first day, your chances of winning a perfect bracket are pretty much out the window.
Usually your bracket goes out the window when you have that 9 or 10 seed advance because you'll take them pulling the upset, but you won't have them winning the next game. And then they pull that second upset, and it ruins everything.
Or as I say about trying to fill out a perfect bracket,
ain't nobody got time for that.
you're damn right.
Well, I think
Some people do. We mentioned it's International Women's Day, or as a lot of our Sam Hinkie fans say, that's pretty much every day in their lives. I hate to do it to them, man, but I have to give them one of those. They were all over me. I go on the internet today, earlier this week, and there's all these people ripping me about tweets that I put out 2.5 years ago. Did you see those?
I love that. I see people they'll find tweets from from anyone and they'll post it, but it'll be dated like 2015.
I had a tweet from October of 2014.
I didn't even know you can go that far back into someone's Twitter.
You can go back. And the things that I said then weren't even inaccurate. That's the amazing part. Yet they throw them up at me because the Sixers win a game. And this is about the Sixers again. The 76ers win a game. Now they have no centers. They have nobody over 6'8" on their roster.
Oh, they got some.
Who? Saric. I'm sorry. Saric is one of the few guys who are still healthy on this team. And they can't even they don't have a legitimate center. They went from having 5 centers to having 0 centers now, right? And that's unfortunate. They got injuries. But anyway, that's what day without a woman means to the truthers out there, or the trusters, or whatever the hell they call themselves. Stay in the basement. The season's almost over. You'll be safe down there. Mommy will come down and get you some cookie and milk later on. Cookies and milk. In fact, Miss Robin made me cookies and milk last night.
I did.
They were good, too.
Did you go chocolate chip?
Absolutely. You kidding me?
I'm oatmeal raisin all the way.
Nah,
I like oatmeal chocolate
I'm an
chip.
oatmeal raisin guy.
Man.
You can't go oatmeal chocolate chip.
Yeah, you can.
It's like Mexican and continental. You can't
No, it's
and
not.
you can do that too.
Nope.
No, the reason why is I don't care if I like oatmeal and cranberries, dried cranberries, but I'm not a big raisin.
What is this,
person.
the Tom Brady new home food system?
That's exactly what it is, man.
Raisins are too sweet for me. I don't know what
Now,
it
would
is.
you order Tom Brady? Of course, it's not his idea. There's a lot of these companies.
TB12 is putting it out there. That's the company, TB12.
TB12, it's up in Massachusetts in the New England area. And, of course, there's Home Chef. What are some of the other ones where they send you
Blue
a package?
Apron,
Blue
Home
Apron.
Chef,
He has the best hashtag ever for it, though.
What's it called?
Eat like a goat.
Eat like a goat,
Eat
baby.
like a goat. That's
that
it,
is
man.
good.
Well, they just give you alfalfa and no, I know he's the greatest of all time. I get it.
Hello.
But it is really,
I know that. I'm just saying, if you eat like a goat, normally you're eating alfalfa and grass.
Actually, no. Goats eat pretty much everything.
Do they really? They don't eat. They're not carnivorous. Will they eat?
A goat will eat a doorknob if you put it in front of it.
Yeah, I don't think that they would seek out meat, but if it's
there,
because I think
we
they'll
saw
eat
the
bugs
video
and grubs
of
and
a
stuff.
deer eating a rabbit.
Yeah, if
or
they
a mouse.
Yeah,
You know, deer, they pretty much
a
graze.
bird. No,
right.
it was eating a bird.
It was eating a bird. And you don't think of deer as, they're not carnivorous.
No.
But I guess there was no food available. The bird was there, and he just ate it.
What animals do, and oftentimes you'll hear this about small children too, that they're lacking some kind of protein or whatever in their body, and all of a sudden, like a baby will be eating the chalk off of a wall, and it turns out later that it's something that their body needed, and animals
body
do that
needs
too.
chalk off the wall.
They needed calcium that's in the chalk or something in there. I don't know, but I've heard these stories. You hear these stories, and animals do it too. That normally something that would never ever eat meat.
Well, that's why I watch the Discovery Channel, because you and me, baby, we ate nothing but mammals.
Speaking of which,
We just do it
Nelson
like they do.
Belger asks a
On the
very,
Discovery
very
Channel.
important question here on Facebook.
What's the question?
Tony, while in Vegas, do you wear a rubber? Are you protected in Vegas?
I do bring the rubber suit just in case you never know what's going to happen. Yes,
Because
I bring the rubber suit.
Set up a slip
You
and
gotta-
slide right in the hotel lobby.
Right down the strip, baby. Right down the strip. The landing strip. to me.
Exactly right.
now
Wow.
everybody's saying hi, William Cullen. What up, Bruno, Miss Robin, and Luigi?
What up, yo? It is What Up Wednesday, by the way.
What up?
Speaking of Luigi, I have done something for Luigi, which sounds a little bit bizarre. Now, I've gotten onto this kick where I like having personalized ringtones. So, like when my mother calls me, based on the ringtone, and my phone is off in a different room.
You know what that's called? Too much time on your hands.
man.
No, but it's kind of handy. Like, if I'm in a different room and I hear my phone ringing, instead of rushing to go get to the room, I'll know who it is based on the ringtone. So I have a ringtone for Luigi.
By the way, your mother's ringtone, I guarantee you she does not know what's on the ringtone.
No, I probably won't tell her about that.
The one that she has for her mother is the most disrespectful thing I've ever heard.
It's recognizable. But this is Luigi's. I found one specifically for Luigi. It was the only one other than the Mario Luigi ringtone that I could find.
I appreciate you not playing that, by the way.
Yeah,
no, we're going to play it right now.
I could have done the Mario and Luigi, the Mario tune, which is, that would have been trite. But this is the one that I found that is just for Luigi.
Looking good.
Luigi,
What up?
just want to touch you.
The hell is this?
All over your manly chest. Want to bury my face in your breast. Luigi,
I'm a man. I'm 40.
You're so freaking sexy.
Are you kidding me with this right now?
You've got me in a trance, so Bowser doesn't stand a chance. Go save the day.
I have
it,
no
yeah.
idea where it came from.
I like it. What are you finding, Robin?
It's on one of those Zedge phone ringtone apps.
See, by the way, I have breaking news. And we have open lines. If you want to join us,
Yeah, we should wrap up breaking news about breaking the phone numbers.
717-363-TONY is the number. A lot of NFL news we'll get to. 717-363-8669 if you'd like to call. Call. Do you hit number one? You have to hit one if you want to talk?
Just call.
Just call, and then we'll answer the phone, and you'll talk. It's that simple. But the breaking news, I forgot what I was going to say now. Just forgot the breaking news.
Jesus.
Did the Luigi song throw you off that much?
Yeah, actually.
It threw us all off a little bit there, Tony.
Is
It's
that
all
not the
I forgot what
funniest
the
thing?
hell I
you've
was just going to tell you about. And that rarely happens. I mean, I'm usually go all over the place. But my mind is fried because I've been working on electrical wiring and trying to do like 3-way switches and 4-way switches and crazy stuff.
While you remember, because I just noticed this myself, while you remember, in the meantime, why don't you talk about the fabulous job that Brian Harmon did, that Chef Harmon did for us at Cantina Laredo last week for the tequila dinner that he put on.
We got a beautiful Avion silver bottle. I didn't realize this was I thought this was just a bottle.
No, it's a
empty
shaker.
bottle, but I thought it was just a bottle where they used to pour the big well, so they made the pineapple. One of the pineapple.
The pineapple infused vodka.
Yeah.
The pineapple infused tequila is what they had.
It was phenomenal,
wasn't
it?
Really good, man.
It was like a summertime drink, even with an umbrella in it, and they gave us these shakers. Actually, we won these.
Well, they won the shaker.
We won the shaker on our end of the table, and then Luigi, ladies and gentlemen, talk about the luckiest guy on earth.
So we sit down, we get our seats for the table, and there's blue menus and there's white menus in front of every chair. So I put my jacket down, and then Tony puts his jacket down across from me. So then Robin comes over. I said, oh, well, you know what? Tony's sitting here. I said, Robin, why don't you sit in front of Tony? Well, across from Tony, and I'll just sit next to our guests. So we sit down, and then the waitress comes over, well, the hostess comes over, and she says, everyone with the blue menu in front of you, you have won the Avion silver bottle centerpiece, which is also the
How
shaker.
does this open, though?
Just
Up top. Now, everyone else with the white menu, which I had and the other rest of the people had.
Oh, there it is.
You put your name on the menu, and if you won the bottle of Avion Reposato, the actual bottle of tequila. So they come out.
These are empty shakers.
These
but
are
they're
empty
lovely.
shakers. I went home with the full bottle of Reposato, and that's a good job out of me, man.
Let me give you a roaring round of applause.
Thank you.
It was a sold-out crowd. It was a great night.
Sold out. Completely sold out.
I mean, and Chef Brian, he was pouring us snifters of the 44.
The
Which
44.
was
That was $30 a
amazing.
shot. $30 a shot.
$30 a shot. So the dinner was $60 per person.
Yep.
One shot if you want to go to a bar and get the Reposato 44, the Añejo 44, which means it's aged 44 months.
Correct.
right.
It was over 40. I think it was $40 a shot.
I don't know.
It was a
Tony.
lot.
It was a
It was,
lot.
it was
It
more
was
than $30 a
really,
shot.
really,
We had
really
three
good.
different glasses to taste: the Avion Silver, the Reposato, and the Añejo.
Yep.
And FYI, I just want to confirm what they say about tequila. Good tequila, it does not give you a hangover.
Nope.
However, it does make you horny.
Don't go there with me.
Just
Don't
saying.
go there with me. Don't go there with me. You want to keep it real, you keep it real with me. Because I ain't for no game.
I can confirm at this hour. I am the second source. I can confirm.
I confirmed
that is true.
I confirmed it 3 times the following morning.
Good for you. Wow.
Just an observation.
And I'm not. And the drinks were all phenomenal. Other than the cucumber one was not my most favorite. It's refreshing.
It was good paired with the soup. You had to
Yes,
have it.
Because it was the cooling act of the cucumber.
I get it, but I'm not a big cucumber juice kind of person. But it was a good drink. I think it's a good drink like in the hot summer day if you're outside. It's sort of a refreshing drink. You know what I mean?
Just kind of keep it cool. Now, the pineapple one was fat.
Oh, the pineapple.
Those are dangerous, though, man. You suck those down all day long.
Yeah.
It's over.
Chris Piota says Emily confirmed as well. She was our winner.
Yeah.
And she brought her boyfriend. By the way, they were very, very smart because Chris called in first, tried to win, and he failed with his question. So she was already on hold, and she was able to win. So they had it covered. We did not know that. Oh, we have phone calls?
Oh, yeah, we got phone calls, but we were getting through the first part of this. So.
By the way, I have breaking news. I finally got
Again, more
here.
breaking news.
Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez are dating.
No.
Yes.
J-Lo and A-Rod?
J-Rod now. They're going to call him
J-Rod?
J-Rod. Jennifer Lopez. Wasn't she just dating some like 20-something guy?
I thought she was all about she was okay with the fact of her dating younger men. It's totally fine. She's kissing 50 now, close to, right? I mean,
she looks great.
She looks phenomenal. There's no doubt about that.
You know,
but
There's nothing wrong with kissing 50, by the way.
No, I mean, I'll kiss anything. It doesn't
Damn
matter.
right. Wait a minute. You said 3 times the next day after the tequila?
Actually, it was. When did she get home?
I thought you were going to work the next day.
Hold on, time out. It was the following.
It was Thursday night, so it was Friday morning.
Friday night, Saturday night. It was Monday, actually. I'm sorry.
Well, then the tequila doesn't last that long.
No.
You want to make a bet?
Not to me, it doesn't.
Well, he got to bring tequila home with him, which was...
Oh, that's the other bottle.
Yeah, exactly
Yes.
I'm talking about from the dinner, the amount of tequila consumed, by the way, which nobody left stumbling drunk.
No, but I was there earlier, and I was pre-gaming. I had a couple beers.
Okay.
We had the Victoria, which was fantastic.
That was great. Brian, let me tell you, I've never had Victoria, which is he said it's the best Mexican beer out there. And
It
you
was-
know
I
I
had a
love
taste of it. It's
Modelo. I
actually pretty
love
good.
I love me some Dos Equis. I love me some Corona. They're good. They're mild beers. If you like the real hoppy, high alcohol stuff, you don't want to drink the Mexican. I love Mexican beer.
Sure.
It's phenomenal.
By the way, I want to apologize for the
Especial,
people that
bro.
are listening in on Periscope.
What's happening on Periscope?
no,
Are we being hacked by the CIA now?
The Periscope looks and sounds great, but for whatever reason, this program that I'm using that allows me to stream it on several different platforms at the same time, it doesn't allow me to see the comments anymore on Periscope.
It's an outrage.
So every now and then one will pop up, but if you want to say something and you are watching on Periscope, please either call in at 717-363-8669, 717-363-TONY, or tweet us, because I am on Twitter, and that I can follow.
At Miss Robin Austin, at Tony Bruno Show. I have my Twitter up now, too. Luigi Curto 22, if you want to tweet him. He's multitasking over there.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying to follow him with
He's
Facebook.
checking
and doing a couple of things.
he wants to see who if the players 8 through 12 get in the game tonight for some nondescript NBA team.
There's a lot riding on this, Tony.
Exactly.
A lot riding on it. But meanwhile, why don't we go to the phones, Tony?
Let's go to the phone, shall we? Let's go to let's go to
Eventually.
I got to change the pages here, and it's hard to do on this stupid iPad.
Well, and again, Tony, since we don't have our call screener in here today, we're just going to give out. I'm going to give out the first 3 numbers of your phone number here. So we're going 215-635. You're live on the air.
Hello.
Hello, Tony.
Is this? Oh, this is the great Jim.
Jim from Cheltenham.
Hey, Jim, how are you? You know what happened on this date in 1971, March 8th?
March 8th. They knocked down the vet?
No, that's when the that's when the vet opened. Actually,
I'm thinking.
the vet opened in 1971, but that's not what it was.
Okay. I know they finished the vet, I think, in March of 71.
Yeah, it opened in 71. I was there for the first game in Veterans Stadium in South Philadelphia. That was not it. It was something actually bigger.
March 8th, 1971. No, I don't. I can't think of it.
Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier, both undefeated heavyweights,
that's right.
met at Madison Square Garden in one of the greatest fights of all time.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Exactly. Back then, of course, you didn't have pay-per-view at home where you can turn it on your TV. You had to go to a movie theater or the old Spectrum, and they would show these fights on closed circuit.
That's pretty awesome to be able to watch it at a movie theater. That's kind of cool to see.
Yeah,
in a
they
theater
movie
setting.
theaters and arenas. They would have the Spectrum would be open, and they would have the fight.
Spectrum.
Exactly.
The only real prize fight I ever saw in a theater was Rocky.
Well, that's not a real prize fight.
Just kidding.
We're good. Good thing Joe's not here tonight. I gotta give him one of these. Wait a minute. I gotta give him one of these really hard and really strong now. I hate to do it to you, man.
Hey, just really quick before it disappears off my screen, we have somebody tuning in from Portugal tonight.
You mean Portugal?
Francisco Javier Aponte.
Francisco, that's fun to say.
I knew you were going to say that. He says that he is watching us from Portugal with some good wine in hand.
Is he drinking now port or is he drinking Madeira? That's the question I want the answer to.
But they also have liqueur wines as well.
I know that, but Portugal is known for port wine and obviously for Madeira as well, and hot women. But that goes without saying. All right, Jim, sorry, I had to give you, because I wanted to throw one at you right away tonight because I had that little nugget prepared for tonight's show. Ali Frazier.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. I remember listening to it on the radio, but I forgot all about that as a fight.
It was funny because that's when I was just starting out covering sports live. So I remember going to Veterans Stadium and going into the locker room after the game, and that's when Steve Carlton and those guys were on the team, and that young Phillies team that was starting to get better and better and better. And everybody was talking about boxing and watching it on closed circuit in movie theaters or at the Spectrum. That's the only way you got to see fights. You didn't see them on TV.
So how, would it be packed?
Oh, yeah. People paid like $40, $35, $30, $40 to go to a movie theater. How much was it, Jim? It was around $25, $30 back then. Now it's like $60.
That's like
pay-per-view. $25, $30 movie theater, or they did have it at the Spectrum here in Philadelphia. You know, big arenas. They had also in the big arenas. Because I saw the second fight at the Spectrum.
Exactly. No, those are fun times.
TV.
Was that SpectraVision?
No, that was something else. That was before Cinemax in late 9.
Oh, really?
Wasn't SpectraVision one of those TV porn channels?
No.
Are you sure?
That's Spanktavision, Tony.
No, there was a channel called SpectraVision. Oh, man. I'm sorry, Jim. Go ahead.
No, I remember Pop Vision. Remember Pop Vision?
Yes.
Pop Vision, yeah.
I just remember the Picasso channel. I used to babysit.
The Picasso channel.
You would. This was before your time, probably, but I would go and babysit, and they had
Picasso
HBO or whatever, and after hours, it would go to porn, but they would block it, so the screen.
Yeah, Prism used to do that at night too. Remember that, Jim?
It wasn't. It would not just be like black. It would be like all. It would be
would
like
be
a
scrambled.
Scrambled.
It would be scrambled, so you could see the picture, but it was like
when you're 15 years old, it's all you got. You can see through the goddamn pictures. All right?
You could see.
What is that? Is that a breast? What is that? What is that? What is that?
You could hear it just fine. You could hear everything, but the boob would be up there, and then the lady's face and part of her foot would be.
It was like a Picasso channel. You're right. It was like a Picasso. You remember that because Prism, which was the sports channel.
The early days of HBO was like that.
But Prism.
You didn't pay for the HBO. You still heard the sound, but you didn't see the picture.
Exactly. But Prism, which was before Comcast Sportsnet and Sports Channel.
Right.
Prism used to, after midnight when they showed the games, they would show late night adult movies, but it would be a scrambled picture. And then you'd turn it on, and then, like as Robin said, it would. Then you would hope the picture every once in a while would freeze.
Yeah, every now and then it would
freeze for like a quarter of a second.
And you'd get the full picture. So I remember going babysit, I'd babysit, and I'm like, ooh, what is that? Ooh, this sounds really interesting. Ooh.
Can't believe that.
Hey, porn is not just for men.
Especially on International Women's Day.
Exactly right.
I mean, if it wasn't for women, I wouldn't be watching porn. And I know there's some guys who don't watch women porn either, but hey, that's why it's American.
By the way, Joe Quillen said that SpectraVision was a hotel cable service.
That's right. That was you watch the porn movies in a hotel room. Like you get a hotel room, and they would have that separate channel.
It
like
wasn't
if you
just
went to Inn of the
regular.
Dove or one of these adult places, the place called the Inn of the Dove,
right,
where it's a couple's place, and you get a room and it's got a tub in it,
right.
And one of the channels would be Spectravision, which would show adult movies.
And then you got to go there at the end of the day, and you got to pay for your bill, and they got to tell you, did you rent Midnight
No,
Midnight
it was
Nurses from
provided.
New Jersey like 17
No,
times?
it wasn't a pay-per-view channel. It was provided as part of the service
No,
when you went to one.
I don't think.
No, you
porn,
had to pay for that.
Porn was
You
never
always got to pay for
provided.
porn.
No, I'm
Tony.
saying in one of these adult hotels, you got it free.
Oh.
You got it as part. They would open the channel for the room.
Ah,
You know what I'm saying? All right, enough with the porn talk. Jim's not here to discuss pornography today.
Well, maybe he is. I don't know. Jim? What do you got? You got any old tapes? What do you got, Jim?
He does collect
What do you have on VHS?
Tony,
we got some Jenna Jameson from 96.
We have the World Baseball Classic.
WBC, baby, WBC. Have you been watching? I got up and watched the Israel game the other morning.
2006 was the first World Classic, and one day you were on your good friend Gary's show, and you were just finished up your show on Sporting News Radio, and you had a monitor in there, and all of a sudden you start doing the play-by-play of the World Baseball.
Oh, do we have tape of this?
Yeah, you were like Gary says, I don't want to. Gary didn't like it, but everybody else in the studio there in San Francisco loved it. And you start doing the play-by-play off the monitor in your little monitor in your studio.
Oh, we have tape of this? Let's go to the tape. Let's go. This is 2006 World Baseball Classic, impromptu live play-by-play during an actual game and an actual radio segment back in the day.
Oh, okay. Dan, as we say goodbye, Dan Dibley, did you learn anything this morning, though, Dan?
I learned that TV on the radio works, Gary.
Oh, you guys are all nuts.
Well, you got Johan Santana on the mound. People want to know if he's going to get Big Poppy. He's got him 2-1, Gary.
All right, we may have a little fun, Tone, after your...
Oh, there's a drive. That ball is hit to deep center field, but it's going to stay in the park.
Oh, okay.
No, it's going right over the 400-foot side, Gary.
All right,
Punch
808.
them all, Big Poppy. The Dominicans, Gary, taking down the dreaded enemies from Venezuela.
808.
Give us your oil. Give us your oil. Give us your win.
Sharing our bet this... all I know. 808.
I gave you a Big Poppy home run for the Dominican Republic over Venezuela live. You're not getting that anywhere else.
I love when you do that.
By the way, I have breaking news from the NFL Wire, actually from the CFL Wire, because we got a lot of NFL news, Jim. Vince Young, who we talked about on the show a few weeks ago when we had his agent Lee Steinberg on, he has now signed, ladies and gentlemen, not with the Rough Riders. He's close to a deal. He's close to a deal with the Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Vince Young heading to Canada, as we talked about a couple of weeks ago.
What's it going to be like him and DMX or?
The Rough Rider, yeah, that's the way Rough Riders roll. Weren't there two Rough Rider teams up there in the Canadian Football League at one time?
I'm not sure.
I think it was Ottawa and Saskatchewan were both the Rough Riders. Am I right, Jim?
You're right. You're right.
No, there were two teams that had the same nicknames. In the league, it wasn't like there were 50 teams in the league. There were two teams called the Rough Riders. I believe it was Ottawa and Saskatchewan.
You are correct.
How's that possible? How can I?
I don't know.
They say like
Ottawa.
You can literally pick any other name you want in the world.
Yeah.
Any other name.
You know the only difference?
What?
The Ottawa Rough Riders, 2 words, Rough Riders. The Saskatchewan Rough Riders, all 1 word.
Oh, okay, that makes a big difference.
Totally different.
That would be like two teams called the Eagles in the NFL. One spelled E-A-G-L-E-S, and the other one just spelled E-A-G-L-E-S.
Yes.
I mean, how does that make any sense? I know the field's wider and it's longer. How the hell do you have two teams with the same nickname? You know what that is, don't you, Jim?
I've never heard
It's an outrage.
It is, man.
Especially when they play each other. That's going to be really cool.
Oh, here we go. We'll play a little Rough Riders now. Give me a little DMX. Is he out of jail or is he back in right now?
He's probably back in.
I don't know. I can't keep track.
Cage can't hold a dog.
I had this song featured on the Tony Bruno. I got to find that, Jim. The Tony Bruno hip hop and R&B album that I released back in my Fox Radio days.
You had a hip hop album?
Well, it was a promo for one actual, and that wasn't really an album. But I did all the versions of all the hot hip hop songs back in the day.
Like
a
little
2002, I dropped that song, DMX. I had all kinds of good stuff. I got to find the promo for that. My boys up in L.A. did a great job. Mr. Jubal, who's now doing a morning drive show in Seattle, he helped put that thing together with Evan Mandelbaum and the guys who all work with me on the morning show with Andrew Siciliano. So we're going to have to play the Rough Riders theme and all the other great hits.
That's a great show.
Antonio Williams says that the Ottawa team has now been changed to the Red Blacks.
Oh, okay, that's right, because they finally realized when Ottawa and Saskatchewan play, you just throw out the record books, you throw out the programs, you have no idea who's on what team.
It's a civil war, baby.
The Rough Riders have taken the lead over the Rough Riders.
Life is all about punctuation. All about punctuation. Oh man, we got a few more calls here, Tony.
All right, Jim. Great to talk to you, pal. We'll talk to you from Vegas, and Luigi and Rob and I will be in Arizona next week too. We're going to Vegas for the weekend, and then Monday.
You look at exhibition baseball.
We're going to go down and watch exhibition Cactus League action. Yes, we'll bust out Mark Lindsay, one of my favorite songs of all time. Remember this song, Jim?
Unfortunately, this is one of those things that you cannot get out of your head after it's playing.
Love this song. You know who Mark Lindsay was?
Are you going to the Final Four, too?
No, we will not be going to the Final Four. That's why we're making the road trip now, because, Robin hasn't seen her dad and stepmom in over 3 years since the Super Bowl in Arizona.
I haven't even met my new nephew yet. My brother and sister-in-law adopted a boy. And
since we're going to be in Vegas, we said, you know what? We're all the way out west. Let's jump on a Southwest jet and head down to Phoenix for a couple days. So we'll be in Phoenix next week. And in our absence, Luigi and Joe Corrado, ladies and gentlemen.
And guests.
And special guests will be hosting the podcast next Wednesday night. What's the date next Wednesday night?
March 15th.
Is it the Ides of March?
Yes.
Oh, you're going to have to play vehicle, you know.
Well, it's going to be a lot of action, a lot of lists, a lot of Mount Rushmores.
Beautiful.
People will be in the hopper.
We're going to the meat locker.
We're not going to the meat locker. We're going to be prepping for the meat locker. Everyone will be in the mix. You got to call in. First time, long time, all that stuff. We got a couple guests coming in.
We might call in.
Maybe you guys can call in. You want to check in on the house, make sure everything's okay. The cats are still alive. That's good.
I may call in from Old Town Scottsdale.
Okay.
One of my favorite places.
Well, I'm going to hate you from here.
Or from out at the pool with some ice-cold lemonade.
And limes hanging over our heads.
I got some prizes. I got some stuff in store for everyone. It's going to be a fun show.
Beautiful. All right, Jim. Good to talk to you, pal. Thanks for that clip. That was a good clip. See how topical Jim is from Cheltenham, the official archivist of the show?
Love Jim. I love
the World Baseball Classics. I don't even remember that when I was doing that World Baseball Classic live play-by-play in 2006 during a show. Because, you know, we had monitors on, and as soon as something would happen...
Yeah, you just go.
The inner journalist in me mandated that I break into a live play-by. I mean, if somebody hits a moonshot like Big Papi did against Venezuela, and you're watching it live, you're compelled to report. And this is before Twitter and all of this other nonsense was out there. I was actually acting as the voice of the fan, the eyes, ears, nose, and throat of sports fans who couldn't be watching the game or following it on Twitter, when everybody tweets out, you know, a ball and a strike call during a baseball game.
Right.
Or that pitch was outside, you know, that kind of stuff.
Well, Tony, we got a few more phone calls here. Why don't we try to hammer some of these up before we go?
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to whoever's next.
So it's going to go 719-661.
In the 719?
719-661. You're on the
Where's
air.
719 area code? Hello?
Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hello there. Who's this?
Yeah, this is Steve from the Springs.
From Colorado Springs. See, he just calls it the
Colorado Springs.
Right.
Yes,
They see when you said the Springs, I knew exactly where you were coming from. You know, it could be White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, right? It could be White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia.
But it's not.
But it's not. It could be Palm Springs.
Right, it could be Palm Springs.
Right? It could be what's the one from the movie Cars?
Palm Springs.
Wasn't there a Springs in Radiator Springs, I think.
Springs.
Is it Radiator or Radiator?
Radiator.
Radiator. Sorry.
Yeah, it could be Bonita Springs, Florida.
Bonita Springs, Florida.
I was just going to say that one.
How many other springs can we come? Not Ron Springs, of course, the former running back for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, there's Poland Springs.
Poland Springs water. In fact, I could use. I have a bottle right here.
That's mine.
But it's only one spring in Poland, which is in Maine. Do you know Poland Springs is in Maine?
I did not know that.
People think it's in Poland, and it comes all the way from Warsaw.
Yep.
It's from Maine.
You got Shawn Springs.
Absolutely.
Shawn Springs, exactly.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
Now, do people call it the Springs up there because
that's all. It's been a while since
I know, Steve. First of all, let's clear this up. Do people who live there call it the Springs, or do they call it Colorado Springs?
Some of the locals call it the Springs, but the out-of-towners call it Colorado Springs. But the locals, everybody calls it the Springs.
How about
Where are
that?
you from? I'm from the Springs.
Exactly.
Okay.
I did not know this.
Okay.
Well, there's an old line. When winter finally ends, when it starts to become winter, when fall ends and becomes winter, and you say to your friends as it gets dark and cold, if I don't see you in the spring, I'll see you in the mattress. It's an old joke, and it.
Well, you know what I tell them? I tell them that's okay. Yeah, I tell them that's okay. I'm from Philly. So
Exactly.
That's what I tell them.
Now, I saw you tweeted out tonight, Steve, about you remembered Prism and all the SpectraVision and all the blurry and what do they call that? It was called scrambled. Scrambled pictures.
I call it the Picasso channel.
I know, but they scrambled the picture, and you had to have a box to be able to tune it in to get it perfect.
Yep. Either that or you're sitting on your recliner with an antenna in one hand.
I tried that. You could not get it to come in unless you had the special
No, you had to have a box.
You haven't been a 14-year-old
That's when I screamed,
boy Home Alone, Robin.
That was long before
no,
the
I
movie
tried.
7, when I screamed, "What's in the box?"
Yeah. Yep. God, do I remember those days and not?
What's in the box?
So. Yeah. But when are you guys going to make a roadie out to Colorado Springs or to Denver, my friend?
I don't know. We haven't been out there since Robin and I have been together 8 years.
I've never been.
We haven't been to Arizona in 3 years. We haven't been to Vegas I've been to Vegas
You know what?
2 years
Other
ago.
than the airport, I have never been to the Denver area. I've never been to Colorado Springs. I've never been.
Have you ever been to these secret tunnels under the Denver airport out there, Steve?
Yes, I've heard about them. I've never been to them. That is a true story.
Yes.
People think it's just a fallacy, but it's a true story.
I was
There are
watching one of my
tunnels out
favorite
there.
shows on the
I've never
Science
been to
Channel.
'em.
There's a show on the Science Channel with a scientist who goes down under tunnels, and he was in Denver a couple of weeks ago on the episode that ran. It's called what the heck's it called? Something. It's on tonight, actually.
Hidden something?
No, but he uses ground penetrating radar when he can't get under things, and he's actually able to see. And one of the stories was that when they built the new Denver airport, which is massive, they unearthed so much ground.
Yeah.
People are saying, what are they doing that for? Because it was like 5 times the size of the actual airport perimeter. And so the thought was that they were building underground bunkers, either for bomb purposes or for shelter purposes, or to have a secret government location down there where all the important people can go and hunker down. They used to have one.
Was it called America Declassified?
No. It's on Science Channel. It's on Wednesday nights, I believe. No, it's on Tuesday nights after What on Earth, the show that I watch every week. What on Earth, and this other thing called I have it on DVR, but it's a great show. And the people in Denver would not allow him access to the underground tunnels. They would not take him down there. So he believes that there's something to this story. There's also underground tunnels in downtown Denver as well, where the brothels used to be, and the highfalutin people, the big money people, would be able to go down into the tunnels and go across the street and go into a brothel without being seen in public.
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't that great?
It's a trap door, basically. You're just going underneath the street and coming up on the other side. It's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with Luigi, man. That is awesome.
That's breaking news right there.
They should do that again. They should reinstitute that stuff. That NBA players wouldn't get in trouble, or athletes, or anybody who's famous. They just duck down, go into a bar.
It's just like Super Mario Brothers. Go
Secrets
down
of
one
the
pipe, come up
Underground.
another.
Secrets of the Underground?
Secrets of the Underground is the name of the show.
You guys would love it out here, though. You guys would love it out here. I know Miss Robin would love it out here. The climate
Well, I
out
love
here
Denver.
is awesome. There is no humidity. It's very dry.
How are the OTBs out
no
there?
humidity at all. It's just how what?
How are the OTBs out there?
Off-track batting ballers?
Yeah.
Oh,
You got any turf clubs out there? I mean, because I need action too. What the hell?
There's action there. You
I
can bet on
care
horse
about
races
humidity,
out there.
Tony. I need heat. I want the heat, brother. I don't care about the humidity.
Yeah, there's some action. Yeah, there's some action going on.
Exactly.
There's action. Yep.
I don't know, man. I can't cheer for the
Betting,
Rockies, bro.
absolutely.
I can't cheer for the Rockies. I
Absolutely.
can't do
There's
it.
action out here.
Nobody cheers for the Rockies.
I can't do it, man. So now I'm good. I'm good where I'm at.
I know that.
So what's the temperature now?
I
The
hear
one
ya.
thing about that part of the country, which is crazy, everybody talks about weather. We've had warm weather here in the east. The west is getting killed with rain. It's been a crazy winter. Yet in Denver, it could be 80 degrees one day and then a blizzard the next day, right? Not 80 in the winter, but it could be in the 60s, and then the next day you could have 2 feet of snow.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, we're still in wintertime. We haven't. It's in the 60s today, and it's supposed to get down to the high 30s tomorrow.
It's an outrage.
So
the trees here on my street are already starting to blossom.
Yeah.
Because we had that stretch of weather last week where it was like 75 degrees for 5 days, and even the trees and the crocuses don't know what to do. They pop up out of the ground thinking it's spring. Was the groundhog right or wrong this year? I think he was
crazy.
Did he see a shadow and say 6 more weeks, or did he say it would be early?
know.
He's wrong more than Belaris was when he was on air.
Oh,
seriously. Belaris is a
man.
friend, but still, he's wrong more than he was.
Is he wrong more than Nate Silver at that site at ESPN?
Gonna be tough. It's going to be
the
tough.
538, or what's that called?
538.
Isn't that the name of his site, the 538?
Yeah. That's funny. So anyway, I just wanted us to call in briefly to see how my favorite podcast folks are doing. I'm glad everything's going good out there for you folks.
Well, thank you, Steve. We got to get out there. When you come back, next time you come back to Philly, you got to let us know. I know you sneak in every once in a while. Let us know, and you can come to the podcast.
Absolutely.
Back this summer. My mother lives up in Bucks County, and so I might be able to make a road trip. She's only 40.
Hey, Steve, we're losing you. So hopefully we'll have a better connection next time you call in.
Yep.
All right, take care out there. Stay warm. There is our buddy Steve out in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Hello.
Hello. So the title of tonight's show was that we were doing NFL Action Galore, and based on one of my updates, Tony got arrested. And Grego on Twitter.
Grego, our buddy in Dallas.
Yeah, he's at TCU White Trash.
Well, because he went to TCU,
Right.
and he's acknowledged himself as being white trash.
He says, I picture Tony as the Andy Dufresne of his cell block.
The Andy Dufresne of his cell block.
He would find a way to get the beer.
Why is there a picture of Rita Hayworth hanging in your bedroom?
Oh, man. Andy Dufresne.
That's good.
It is good.
That's pretty
Grego's
good,
a
right?
crazy guy. Another one of my friends. By the way, speaking of Dallas, we have breaking NFL news, Luigi. We have breaking.
Tony, we've broken more news on this first 10 minutes of this show.
Of course, tomorrow, Thursday, is Wednesday night, March 8th. But tomorrow, Thursday, March 9th, is the actual start of the new year. We're going to be playing Happy New Year at midnight.
That's right.
Because the NFL business year starts on Thursday, March, I don't know why, but that's when it starts. That's when free agency officially starts.
Yep.
Guys can be signed, teams will cut players, and it's already underway.
Right, the tampering period is over.
Correct.
Things are already happening.
Everybody
Moves are
already knows a lot of things that are going on. The big story, of course, Tony Romo will be released by the Dallas Cowboys on Thursday. Where's he going to go? Speaking of Denver, Denver's one of the places people
Houston.
think that
Houston could be
Houston's
called
a
for him.
possibility. But depending on, and I've seen two different numbers. Adam Schefter at ESPN, my buddy, says he represents a $24.7 million cap hit for the Dallas Cowboys. And Andrew Brandt, who also works for ESPN, said it's $19.6 million. Either way, it's a ton of money that's coming off the books. Will that count against the Cowboys cap in 2017?
No, it can't.
They get it off the books.
They get it off the books, correct.
And then Dak Prescott, who's the new quarterback, only made $635,000 this rookie year.
Hold out Central, baby.
Do you hold out?
Abso-freaking knowing that they got 24.7 just freed up, and you just did what you just did on your rookie deal, being a fourth-round pick. Yeah, you're holding out.
What about Ezekiel Elliott? Is he not going to hold out too? He's not making big
Ezekiel
money.
Elliott's getting first round money.
No, that's true.
He's getting top 10 NFL draftee money. Dak Prescott is getting $653,000. $635,000. He's holding out. His agent's going to hold him out. I guarantee it.
I don't know I don't think his agent's going to do that. I think it's dumb.
Dumb?
Because a lot of guys outplay their contracts in their rookie year. The thing about the NFL, same thing with the NBA.
Tony, they're going to say he is now your franchise quarterback.
Well, that's
no
true.
other quarterback on the roster. You have right now. What they have is what you call leverage, and
They're
going to use
no
that
doubt
leverage.
about it. And you may be right. All I'm saying is, I think it's a bad move by Dak Prescott. I get the leverage. I get the fact that Romo's gone and they have some money. Maybe they just rip it up. I mean, maybe they just say, you know what, we're going to give you the money anyway. Maybe they try to get him cheaper. Yeah. Sign him now, get him cheap.
Well, that's what it is. If you tear up this deal now, if you tear up,
they're not going to give him $10 million.
No, they're not going to give him. They're not going to give him $100 million. Is what you're trying to say is what they're going to rip up his rookie contract. They'll offer him an extension on top of it, and they'll give him a few extra $1 million, and it'll make it worth its while. And they'll have him sign up till he's 25, 26 until he gets to his second contract. But you got to pay him to keep him happy. You got to, because, again, he's the only quarterback you have on the roster. That's worth a damn.
Well, Mark Sanchez is still there. What are you talking about?
Again, the only quarterback on the roster that's worth a damn, Tony.
So that's the big story with as far as players cut. The New England Patriots make another trade that people are shaking their head at and saying, how the hell do they do this? How the hell do they do it?
It's just mad genius, Tony.
They traded a 4th-round pick. They will tomorrow, actually, on Thursday. They will give up a 4th-round draft pick for tight end Dwayne Allen, who is with the Baltimore Colts. And not only do they get Dwayne Allen,
the Baltimore Colts,
the Indianapolis Colts.
What are we breaking? It's from 1963?
Yes, because Dwayne Allen reminds me of a guy who plays in the 60s. They trade a 4th-round pick to get Dwayne Allen from the Colts and a 6th-round draft pick.
They're getting a pick back, which is great.
I know, it's unbelievable. And they'll turn that 6th-round draft pick into another Pro Bowler.
Of course.
And obviously Martellus Bennett is gone, and so they hope that what's-his-face comes back.
Gronkowski.
Gronk comes back.
Well, I think they're going to try to recreate what they did, a few years ago with Hernandez.
Except he won't be going to jail for multiple murders.
Well, he hasn't arrived in Patriots gear yet, so let's time will tell if he's going to do anything. We'll see.
People know there were red flags about Hernandez long before he became a New England Patriot.
Which is kind of funny because you don't
not double murder charges, but dude was in gangs and had hung out with a bad crew.
Well, remember there was always a story too about with him and Welker when they were in the film room and they were messing, Welker was just kind of messing around when he was a rookie, and Aaron Hernandez was ready to pull a gun on him, kind of stuff. It was.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that happens, regularly. Meanwhile, Pierre Garçon, check please.
I love
get me out of Washington.
Garçon.
You know what Garçon means, right, Robin?
Yeah.
Well, explain it to those who are not multilingual in our audience.
It means man.
Garçon, or normally you would refer to.
It's
a waiter,
as garçon. But the literal translation is man, and so
hey man, hey garçon.
What
up, garçon?
But they use it for waiter.
French, but you're an asshole.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Pierre Garçon is going to the San Francisco 49ers where they don't have a quarterback who can throw him the football. Although, the reason why he's going there, not just for $16 million in the first year alone to leave Washington and head to San Francisco, because Kyle Shanahan is out there as the head coach. And you remember Kyle Shanahan, the offensive coordinator in Washington with him when he had 2 really great years in D.C. under Kyle Shanahan. So he's going to get paid a lot of money. They let Torrey Smith go out there, so they needed another receiver. But obviously they're paying a lot of money for Pierre Garçon, who's not a young wide receiver, but a guy who still has something left in the tank, and they're looking for leadership. There's a couple of quarterbacks on their radar, too. Did you see some of the names?
No, what do you got, Tim?
I don't have it written down, but I saw one earlier today, but it's not something that's going to... I'll have to write it down. There's 10,000 things happening. Matt Schwab got a new job.
Matt Schwab,
the former franchise in Houston for many, many years, goes back to it. Did he go to Atlanta before?
He was in Atlanta the entire time. No, he went to Houston.
Right, and he became the franchise quarterback in Houston.
Tony.
He was a backup in Atlanta.
Yes.
And he
was behind Michael Vick the entire time.
Correct.
Yep.
Then he goes to Houston, becomes the franchise guy, and then all of a sudden, everything collapsed for Matt Schaub in Houston, and he's bounced around, and now he's going back, signs a 2-year deal, $9 million to be the backup quarterback in Atlanta.
Not to spend any time on him, but he's one of those quarterbacks who, he was Pro Bowl-esque. He was
right there. He had a couple of great years.
And then all of a sudden, it just fell off, man. He couldn't throw a touchdown pass to save his life, and it was intercepted almost every play, man.
It's unbelievable. And then this kid, another Philly area guy, went to school here locally, and he was the franchise. They thought Matt Schaub, and go look at his numbers. He had an unbelievable season.
Yeah, he did really well.
He had good weapons there too.
He did have. He had a young Andre Johnson there, man. And he had Arian Foster to hand the ball off to all the time.
Exactly.
He had a great offensive line. He had a good defense. He had a lot of good things going for him. The problem is, like I said, just one day he woke up and it
fell apart. And they had
a
a great defense. I mean, that team would have been a Super Bowl team if he had not fallen off the face of the earth.
I don't know about a Super Bowl team.
Because they had a great defense and a great offense. They had all the ingredients to at least make one run with that franchise.
That's the problem. The problem is they never made a run because it was always something. It was like Arian Foster would get hurt. You know what I mean? Like this guy was running for 2,000 yards, but then he would always get hurt. And they had Andre Johnson, but never really anything outside of Andre Johnson. So they didn't really have all the pieces, but they had enough. They had enough to make a run, but they just never really did it, and that's the problem.
Brandon Marshall, you probably heard this yesterday. 2-year deal, $12 million with the New York Football Giants. Those among the big stories. Just as we get underway to start the NFL league year, there are reports that Deshaun Jackson. See, I think with Pierre Garçon leaving, Washington may want to keep Deshaun Jackson, depending on the money. But there's other teams looking for wide receivers. In Dallas, how about Deshaun Jackson going to Dallas?
Jesus, man, I don't know, Tone. I don't know if he really fits there. I don't know if he fits what they do there because where are they going to get him the ball at?
He runs a deep pattern. He runs a fly
Tony,
pattern.
What I'm saying is, though,
Dak Prescott throws a bomb and hopes he's wide open.
Right, but the problem is they already have Dez over there to do whatever they need him to do, and they're going to feed the ball to Zeke all day long. So I don't really think Deshaun Jackson fits there. I really don't.
He's a deep threat.
It doesn't matter.
There are a lot of Eagle fans who think Deshaun Jackson should come back here so Carson Wentz has somebody who can get separation deep.
But Tony, I don't think any team's going to pay, Deshaun Jackson $6 million a year just to be a guy who gets maybe 3 catches a game for, and hopefully breaks one.
All right, that's enough with the stinking NFL talk.
I'm just saying, man.
I'll get to the Raiders next hour. The Raiders looks like they're going to move to Vegas again.
Again?
Well, this time it looks more serious because they've got some financing news.
Bank of America.
Bank of America. Oh, where I have a couple of $1,000 sitting there waiting to empty out in a couple of weeks. They would not give me financing, but they're going to give Mark Davis financing.
That's an outrage, Tony.
It is an outrage.
Man.
I'm pulling out my $7,000 from Bank of America tomorrow.
Now, the thing that I don't understand.
Yes.
And I heard you bring
That's
this
my
up.
life savings. That's my liquid assets right
You
now.
can't quit the bank, man. The bank quits you.
I heard
Tony.
you mention this on the Damon Bruce show last night when you were on in the Bay Area, that if the Bank of America is giving them financing, why wouldn't Bank of America give them financing to build a stadium?
Good question. I
in
looked
Oakland?
that up today. And the reason is this group, led by Ronnie Lott out in the Bay Area, supposedly wants to be the group that funds or at least gets money together to build a stadium. And when the Bank of America deal came through, or at least the word came through that they were going to put up probably $650 million. The stadium in Las Vegas, you know how much this stadium is going to cost to build for the Raiders? $1.9 billion.
Jesus.
$1.9 billion. So the taxpayers of Las Vegas, meaning all you people who go out there and lose money, are going to put up $750 million. The Raiders are going to throw in $500 million.
And whatever you donate when you go out.
And then when I donate this weekend.
There you go.
So there's $650 million that would be the closer to this deal, which is the Bank of America loan to get this stadium project underway. They were waiting for Oakland to come back and say, yeah, well, we'll get a bank group, but there were apparently some New York bankers who wanted to get involved, and they never came through with the guarantees to put the money up.
So these same
for the
people,
Oakland Raiders in Oakland.
So the portion of it that's missing are it's the okay from the Oakland. So Las Vegas is putting in some money.
Las Vegas is putting in $750 million.
So
nobody
in Oakland was willing to do that.
Yeah, the state of California is not going to put up $750 million in tax dollars.
So real quick, Dennis Taylor on Facebook says it better be a dome. Is it going to be a dome?
I would think so.
It has
yeah.
to be, right? I mean, it's too damn
There's
hot,
no
right?
way.
For $1.9 billion, you better put a damn dome on it.
Air conditioning.
There's no way that they could have football out there without it being in a dome. Even in
no,
the
they have that Las Vegas Stadium, where Vegas plays and UNLV.
Right. Now, here's an interesting thing.
That's outdoors,
that
but they play in the fall when it's only like 90 degrees.
That's not
too bad.
The price per square foot to build something in Las Vegas is a whole heck of a lot cheaper than in Oakland. So
and here's the other thing, and again, I feel bad for the Raider fans in Oakland, but Oakland's not putting up the money. Yeah. And Al Davis is only putting up $500 million of his own money. I mean, Mark Davis, Al Davis' son, who runs the team now, after Al died a few years ago. And so you need another $650. You borrow it. The bank says yes. And once they get, and the NFL owners, by the way, are going to vote on this, or they're supposed to vote. They're going to have their league meetings coming up at the end of the month in Phoenix, Arizona again. And if the owners say okay, the Raiders are going to move. There are some people, Mark Purdy out in the Bay Area writes for one of the newspapers, suggests that they probably will table it right now, not vote on the approval at the owners' meetings at the end of March, and then wait till later in the year to let this thing develop and see whether the bank – they want to make sure the Bank of America money is guaranteed. They don't want to say, oh, yeah, they're going to give us the money, and then it falls through. Because they're not going to build a stadium $650 million short of what they need to
they
build
want
this
it
thing.
in writing. Now, here's my thought on the whole thing moving. I know that Oakland is going to be very, very disappointed. All those fans, just as disappointed that the fans were in LA when they moved up from Los Angeles. But I don't think that the Bay Area, the Raiders have always been the ugly stepchild in the Bay Area. And I think that they deserve to have a city that is behind them.
And there's another problem. They have the Oakland A's who use the same stadium that they use now, and there's all kinds of complicated legal mumbo jumbo with if the Raiders leave and then the Oakland A's have to fix up theirs because the stadium's a dump. I mean, they have raw sewage runs into the dugouts where the A's play baseball games when there's flooding.
It's an embarrassment, and the Raiders have, like I said, they've been this ugly stepchild for so long now.
Even though they have more success than a lot of football teams. I mean, they have a great track, they got a great history of great players, Super Bowls, and the Niners do as well. But to me, here's the reason why Vegas is probably going to get this. Because if they build a $1.9 billion dome stadium in Vegas, it will not be used for just 8 football home games a year.
Oh, absolutely not.
And it'll be a centerpiece in Las Vegas. It will be used for every major event that you could think of. So it will lure all kinds of events that already go to Vegas for conventions.
But you can finally have like an NHL All-Star game out there.
Well, no, they have their own arena now. They built an NHL arena. They're having a hockey team already this fall. Las Vegas is ready to go. I'm talking about a football stadium. You talk about all kinds of events. You know, rodeos, which they do in small arenas. They'll have it in the big football stadium. Just think of all the possibilities of big facilities.
So many activities.
To host
so many activities.
A Super Bowl in Las Vegas.
Oh, my God.
Right? You know they're going to get Oakland will never get a Super Bowl.
Never.
Ever. Vegas will get a Super Bowl in the mix, and they'll get all kinds of other attractions that will go there.
Do you even think Vegas could even hold the amount of people that would show up to Las Vegas for Super Bowl?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody has more hotels than Vegas.
But that's what I mean. The amount of space that they have, all the hotels they have. Do you honestly? Because when you guys went out to Houston for the Super Bowl, there's a shortage on these things. There's a shortage in hotels. There's a shortage on everything.
But there are already more hotels.
What I'm trying to say, I understand that. What I'm trying to say to you is that the amazing amount of people that will show up just to be able to be in Vegas and be able to bet on all this stuff in Vegas.
By the way, I have news for you, and I mentioned this before. There are as many people at the Super Bowl in Las Vegas who just show up to Vegas to bet as there are in the Super Bowl host city the weekend of the Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. So, I mean...
what I'm saying is that they can handle the crowds.
But you're talking about maybe
20 million
this
is what would happen, though. As soon as it was announced that Vegas would receive the Super Bowl, people would already start booking.
Oh, here goes Antonio Williams, a WrestleMania in Vegas.
WrestleMania. Every major event that there is will be in this new $2 billion stadium in Las Vegas. That's why Bank of America says, yeah, I'm not going to put up the money to build in Oakland. You know, it's right across the bay from San Francisco.
It's all about risk-reward, man.
Exactly. That's the bottom line.
They don't care about anything else. It's about how they're making their money.
People don't realize that, or some people, especially people that lived in and around Vegas, out of all the cities in the United States, Vegas was hit the hardest during the recession and the big real estate boom, and they were hurt so hard, and it took them a lot longer to recuperate, and they are still behind the 8 ball as far as bouncing back. So something like this would really, really help Vegas and Nevada out.
Absolutely. And it's not going to help Oakland, but I've just given you all the good reasons why there's going to be funding in Las Vegas and not funding in Oakland.
And just think about it. When we were flying up from L.A. to Oakland every single week when you were doing the Raiders postgame show, we had airplanes full of fans flying up from L.A. that were still Oakland fans from when they had been out in L.A., and they would filled up planes to
go up and watch the Raiders play in Oakland.
And just imagine what a boon that's going to be for both Oakland fans and LA Raider fans that are going to be flying out to Vegas every week. And it's not that expensive when in the big scheme of things.
Yeah, the average fan can't afford to do it.
No, I mean, it's already expensive enough to have tickets to get to the game. For 2 people to go to a game, you're already talking $250. Then on top of that, you got to add in the airplane, the airfare. So there's another $250.
No, like if you can plan it far enough advance, if you have like maybe you have season tickets or something like that, you know,
but if you have season tickets, you just added a season's worth of flying.
But There's all sorts of things you could do, and
But most
there
people-
are a lot of flights from LA and from Oakland to Las Vegas. You can get them for like $50-$60 one way.
I don't know, man. I think you're going to see a lot less people flying out there to see them.
I disagree.
I disagree.
I
Okay.
disagree.
All right, whatever.
You're going to be going to an unbelievable stadium, and it's going to be Vegas, and those are the two selling.
No, I mean, I'm not talking about the average. I'm not talking about anybody else. Like, I mean, shit, I would go out there to see Oakland play in a new stadium. I'm talking about just the normal Oakland Raiders fan who just, it's, hey, listen.
You have not met Raiders fans.
Listen, you could be.
No, they're going to be mad, Rob. They had signs
Crazy.
last year saying
Absolutely.
if you build it, we won't come.
Crazy is one thing, okay? And passion's another thing. Being able to afford these things is another. Being able to take a trip to Vegas every single weekend to go see the Raiders play.
It's only 8 games.
It's still
man.
8 games. It adds up.
I know it adds
up.
And
Robin.
I'm saying that they'll
You think
probably
people are broke in Oakland? 911 may be a joke.
Well, Hammer lives there. MC Hammer lives there. He's broke as hell.
This is what I could see happen. I see
He's selling land with Eric
they'll
Estrada.
lose about half.
Oh, man.
They'll lose about half of the people that used to fly, or half of their fans that would go all the time from Oakland itself. They'll probably keep the same number of people that used to fly up from LA. They're now just going to fly out to Vegas instead. And then they're going to gain new fans
Nobody in their right mind is going to fly out to see a game every game. They're not going to do that.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference.
Although
between,
it's great to have the stadium there because anybody can go see them. And there's
right.
so many people.
And what's
there.
going to
That's
happen
great.
is that's not going to be like the LA situation.
No.
Where you're going to see a lot of empty seats in the LA stadium.
It makes no sense to have one there anyway, but go ahead.
Like the Rams. I mean,
Right,
there are a lot of
it
empty
makes
seats.
no sense to have a team there,
But here's the reason why it's going to work, because all the it's not going to be an empty stadium, because all the casinos will get involved. They'll buy season tickets and they'll grease the high rollers and give them tickets to the suite. They'll have
of course.
suites. They'll be able to sell this in Vegas. I'm telling you, man. And you know me, I'm a Raider fan, and I think Oakland's getting screwed. But Oakland's not going to pony up to keep the team, and that's the facts of the world. And Las Vegas has been trying to get an NFL team. They now have a hockey team, and they're going to become a major sports city, even though the fan base isn't there because there's not a lot of the people from there or from everywhere else. But the Cowboys go there. Anybody that goes there, there's going to be a lot of people from different places in the world and different places in the country who are going to go to Vegas to watch NFL games.
Yep.
That's the way it is.
I agree with Oz Mike. He says, Tony, Luigi, stop yelling.
I'm not yelling. I know my Raiders.
I'm not yelling.
And I know my Las
You guys
Vegas.
are Italian. You don't even notice when you're yelling.
I'm not yelling.
He's Italian.
Ay vey.
He's not yelling.
So, but okay. So Oakland going out there now kind of makes sense because the team's good, because they're a contender. But let them go 0-6 and see how many people keep flying out there No, listen, Tony. The stadium will fill up because of the reasons you said. Casinos will use them as comps. People that are coming into town will come to see a football game. Hey, listen, we're going to Vegas this weekend. What do you want? Oh, let's go see the Raiders game. They'll go do that. I'm not saying the stadium will have no problem filling up. That won't be the hard part. The hard part will be for all these dedicated Oakland Raider fans that are in Oakland that have to fly out there every week. As Steven Summerson on Facebook says, that it will cost you nearly $1,000 to do this every single week. That's almost $10,000 a year you have to explain to your significant other that I'm spending to go see a football game. No. Those are kids' tuitions. Those are mortgage payments.
Every single weekend when the Raiders played at home.
It's erroneous, man. Erroneous on all counts.
No, every single weekend, Robin and I were on a Southwest airplane on Saturday morning. Saturday morning, not Sunday. Saturday morning, and it was filled with Raider fans from Los Angeles flying to Oakland. Those same Raider fans in Los Angeles will fly from L.A. to Vegas. It's the same distance. It's the same airfare. They're going to go, not 60,000 people,
And
the
probably
people who can afford to go.
stay in a Vegas hotel a lot of times than it is in a Bay Area hotel.
Exactly. So anyway, we'll see. I mean, it
I know
remains
you
to be
don't
seen.
get it, but I'm telling you, we saw it week after week after week.
Why don't we take a break and talk about this off air?
No, I'm not talking about
No,
it
we're
anymore.
not talking about it anymore.
I'm trying to segue us to off break,
You
Tony.
spitting Raider knowledge and
I'm not
Vegas
spitting
knowledge
Raider
like
knowledge.
me?
I'm spitting realistic situations here, man. People
You're wrong.
But you don't have the experience that we did when we saw them.
I'm spitting knowledge.
You happen to live on that side of the country. I didn't.
Exactly.
That's why we have knowledge.
That's why we have knowledge. So we're saying to you what we saw, not what we're speculating.
So everyone in a Raiders jersey just happened to live in Los Angeles that went to Oakland?
Did we say that?
No. A lot of people filled up airplanes from Los Angeles to fly to Oakland so they can watch the Raiders play in Oakland, even though they moved from L.A. to Oakland 20 years ago. Anyway, enough about that.
Let's go to break,
We
Holmes.
have a big story. Who's the biggest Kardashian hater? Me or some guy in Connecticut? We'll explain. Coming up, and more good stuff, including the greatest soccer comeback in Champion League history.
That happened today, right?
Yes, it happened today.
Beautiful.
Barca, baby, Barcelona! Barca, baby!
Messi, man. Could be the best to ever do it.
Barca. Unbelievable game. We'll tell you about that in case you didn't see it, because we cover it all. It's Tony Bruno Show Live. We're coming back after a short break. Don't go anywhere.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Show starts in 5 minutes.
The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candies. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
We're happy to have you with us this evening and want you to enjoy every minute of your stay here. And while you relax and stretch, visit our concession where you'll find something to please you. There are ice-cold drinks and many other pleasing treats. Our drinks, satisfying and refreshing. They're so good.
Show starts in 4 minutes. Show starts in 3 minutes.
It's refreshment time, folks.
Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on. Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on.
Show starts in 2 minutes. Show starts in 1 minute. And now, on with the show.
Hip hop, hooray, ho, hey. Who you calling a hoe, hey?
By the way, speaking of hoes,
Nerds.
I
Can hoes be nerds too? Or can nerds be hoes?
You can have a nerdy hoe.
Hoes with 4.0s, yo.
Exactly right.
But speaking of hoes, I have noticed something. What do you have against whores?
What are you talking about?
I have noticed something in all of this construction that we've been doing. You have a problem with them, apparently.
I do?
Yes, because every single time something happens, you say, GD effing whore.
Yeah, I do. Because I don't like to take the Lord's name in vain, especially during Lent, this Lenten season.
So, but what I always am like, what do you have against whores?
The illegal ones, I'm a legal guy. The legal ones, okay.
So,
the
like
illegal ones,
all the ones in Vegas, you're okay with?
well, they're not. The ones in Vegas aren't legal. You have to go out into the desert, comb the desert.
We ain't found shit.
See, now here's my thing.
It's the best ever, man.
I still don't. I honestly just don't understand the argument until against legalizing.
I don't either. It should be
prostitution.
legalized.
It is.
Everything should be legal except pedophilia
There is a reason.
and bestiality.
There is a reason why it is called the oldest profession, is because it has literally been around since day one, practically, and it's not going anywhere. And making it illegal makes it seedier. If it was just legalized, it would not be as seedy. It would be safer. It would be you could regulate it more. I mean, like in the Netherlands, they have health care. They have unions. They have all sorts of stuff.
If you go into a brothel in the Netherlands, do you get like a receipt?
Yeah, you can expense
Are
them.
you
on
serious?
Oh yeah, no, seriously, like
No, because I'm asking because the reason why is probably because they can't regulate because they can't tax it.
Yes, they can.
I would keep everything off the books. I wouldn't. I mean, like, how could you?
They
prove?
can tax it. They have regular checkups to make sure that everybody's safe. They have health care. They have retirement funds. I mean,
I'm ready to march tomorrow, a day without a hooker, and let's just see how the country works without them.
and there are the only time that it was ever an issue was when, and there's still some problems with it, it was because of the women that were working off the books, so to speak.
That's what I'm saying.
That were because of drugs.
Well,
They
that's
were
the same-
instead of, but they weren't working. They were the women that had
But
drug
that's
issues.
the same thing here as like the guys who own the pizza shops. So you bring the people in, you pay them $5-6 an hour to work the counter. Like I wouldn't go to the union to get my hose. I'd go.
Well, but
I'd get under
but the problem
I'd get them
was
under the table. You know, no pun intended. That's
so,
what
but
I
the
do.
men that go to those women were the men that were ending up at the hospital with all sorts of stuff and issues. Whereas if you wanted something clean that was guaranteed that you didn't have to worry about, then you go
You pay a
to
little extra.
yeah. I mean, and it's not like it's that much extra.
By the way, the fourth
think.
floor stall.
I don't know.
I actually don't know how much it would cost. but-
Okay, I'm just saying.
The fourth floor stall checks in on Twitter.
Yes.
Hasn't been active in a while, but he's active again.
He is, and did you read it?
I'm reading it.
Okay.
The fourth floor stall, for those people, back in the day when I was working in Philly radio at 97.5, we were on the fourth floor of the building, and the men's bathroom was down there, and there would always be jokes about the fourth floor stall, and he says, the fourth floor stall where courtesy flushes are apparently frowned upon. And so he tweets tonight, Longwood Gardens has an organ that plays fountains and lights instead of sounds. You need an organ that plays nothing but drops. You like that one? I hear you, baby. Yes, indeed.
That actually reminds me of one of your favorite sayings or jokes.
Which one is that?
What's better than a rose on a piano?
Roses on your piano? You know what's better than roses on your piano, Luigi?
I don't know. Tears on your pillow? I don't know, Tony.
Tulips on your organ. See, roses on your piano, tulips on your organ.
get it.
I get it.
You got it now?
Yeah, I get it.
You got it now?
I get it.
Oh,
That
it
was
never
horrible,
gets
but I get it.
old. Yeah. That's the same like whenever you are in the water and it's either cold or deep. Tony will say the following.
You know, that water reminds me of the two gentlemen that were. I always tell this joke to my son.
What do you got?
Whenever we're fishing on the boat with my two boys.
Sure.
And this has been going on since they were little kids. So then during a fishing trip, I routinely will start the joke. You know, guys, this reminds me of a story when I was a young man. These two African-American gentlemen were fishing off a pier. And they're sitting there, and they throw their lines into the water. And the first guy says, and they're dangling off, so their feet are in the water. So they're dangling off a pier. You know what I mean? Just picture dock of the bay.
I'm picturing it right now, Tony.
And the first gentleman says, man,
They're
this water's
peeing.
cold.
Aren't they peeing off the water?
No, they're fishing.
Okay.
And the guy says, man, this water's cold. And the other brother says, yeah, and it's deep, too. Where's the rim shot, Luigi? Come on, man. It probably would sound better if they were peeing off the dock.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Two guys are peeing off the dock. One guy says, yeah, this water's cold. And the next guy says,
That's why I said it. I'm like,
I
I'm
know.
pretty
I
sure they're
remember
peeing.
I whipped this Exactly.
What are you doing, Tony? What are you, you're just touching stuff. Stop touching things.
Speaking of dangling, barbecue beef Balboa.
Our buddy out in L.A. Now, what is his real name now, Luigi? You've had a lot of contact
I have
with
no idea
Barbecue
what his
Beef
name is.
Balboa.
I don't know. Barbecue beef Balboa. Tell us what your actual name is so that we can call you by your first name because I don't think you've ever said it. But
There's a reason for that, Rob.
He wants to know. He has these random questions that he asks on Twitter every week, and sometimes we get to them, sometimes we don't. He does have a question, however. Logically, he asks, is a hot dog technically a sandwich?
This is one of those sports radio.
They're taking away from our show next week. This is what we're going to break down these. We're going to answer these questions once and for all.
We'll save that one for next week.
That's amateur hour.
He also
No, it's not amateur hour.
Last week he had
you
a
put
question
ketchup
which,
on a hot dog?
which I know
Break it down.
this is a question that he has asked before regarding the ketchup question. Whether it is does he have any problem, meaning do you have any problem with people who put ketchup on their hot dog?
Yes.
And I don't. Now
I don't.
I don't care as long as
really
I don't
talking about this.
Just don't put it on mine. That's all I'm saying.
You know what you can put on your hot dog? Whatever the hell you want. I
know you
don't
can.
care.
I don't care either.
No, he gives me crap every single time I
Should
put
give you
ketchup.
kraut instead.
I give a crowd if they have
This
it.
is it. You know, Heinz has a little hot dog packet that you can purchase, and it comes with ketchup, mustard, and relish.
Now, Robin puts mayonnaise on everything, and I don't get it. I like mayo, but you can't put mayo on everything.
Nah, not on everything.
Aioli.
She puts mayo on everything.
Get out!
Exactly.
Look at the size of that trunk. You could put 3 bodies in it.
What the hell I just hit that for?
Are you saying that because I eat mayonnaise, my trunk's bigger?
No. I'm just saying I just hit that by accident.
By
That's
the
all.
way, the Miami Dolphins have signed
They re-signed Kenny Stills, right?
Kenny Stills and Branch, too.
So they're going to have more drop passes this year.
Exactly.
On wide open touchdowns. That's a good
So,
job
I
out of
mean,
them.
people talking about free agent wide receivers, and there's a lot of teams, like the Eagles in particular, looking for wide receivers. So you can cross Kenny Stills off your wish list if you had him on your wish list to begin with. And I mentioned the quarterback, and it looks like he is going to sign, according to all sources. We mentioned the Niners signed Pierre Garçon, and they also are going to sign Brian Hoyer, who I believe now has played for every team in the entire
Former
National
Cleveland Brown great.
Exactly. Brian Hoyer has played in a lot of places. But you know what he is? He's a steady guy. He's not a star. They don't have, I don't even think they have a quarterback on their roster, do they, the 49ers at this juncture?
No, is Gabbert still there? Because to be honest with you, that's how much attention I've paid to San Fran in the past several months. I don't even know if Blaine Gabbert's
Well,
still
you're
there.
the same as Niner fans. They haven't paid attention either.
And rightfully so.
By the way, Paul Ferreira says that you pronounced something wrong. He said the B-A-R-C-A.
Barca.
He says it's pronounced Barca.
I know. I call it Barca.
Barca.
Barcelona.
It's actually Barcelona.
Barcelona. Let me do my soccer update.
Yeah, can
by
we
the
get
way.
to the damn update?
We got a lot of updates
I
here.
know, we got a lot of stuff
I don't
going
have
on
a soccer call in here, though. I need my...
I'll see if I can get a soccer.
Find me a good like Colombian or...
good Colombian goal?
It's got to be a Latino. They're the best. A lot of these British guys are okay. Well, there's some good American soccer announcers, but the Hispanic guys are the best. The Latino guys.
Absolutely.
They make soccer the great game, America's
Although
game, or the world's game, or what do they call the beautiful game?
The announcer, is he Scottish or what's his name?
But he's not an announcer. He's the color commentator.
I love him.
Oh, I do too, but he's not a play-by-play guy.
Ya lo hace. Pierna derecha, directo al arco. ¡Golazo!
¡Golazo! ¡Golazo!
¡Golazo!
They are.
That's how many times Barcelona scored today against Paris Saint-Germain.
Just keep going and going, dude. It's great.
They scored 6 goals today, and they had to score 6 goals.
Because of the aggregate scoring.
Right. So they win the aggregate, and they move on to the quarterfinals. And what is the greatest comeback? Because when you hear they won 6-1, why is that a comeback? They didn't come back in the game to win 6-1. They came back in the aggregate in the Champions League's playoff run.
Yep.
And they had to beat Paris Saint-Germain by 6-1. And they were in a situation where it didn't matter what the score is. 1-1-1 is over.
Right.
They had to beat them 6-1. They scored 3 straight goals in the final 7 minutes, and then scored in extra time in the 95th minute to get their 6th goal, which then clinched the quarterfinal appearance for Barcelona. What an unbelievable finish!
That's
amazing.
amazing.
And they're playing on the road in front of a hostile crowd, and it was one of the most unbelievable spurts you'll see. Because in soccer, you're down, you're not. Obviously Barcelona needs to score, and they're rushing and going and going.
Let's be real. In soccer, when someone scores, it is breaking news. It is. I mean, because normally there's not a lot of goals scored. But 6 freaking goals. And
when you need to score 6 goals, and you score 6 goals, and the way you do it with 3 in the last 7 minutes.
That's every man up.
And then 1 goal in the 95th minute of extra time to get Barcelona the win. One of the greatest, it's actually the greatest comeback in Champions League history.
And thank you to Dave Byers, who mentioned that Blaine Gabbert started for the Bears last year.
And Brian Harmon also checks in saying that particular sound clip sounded like a Spanish traffic jam saying, "Go asshole, go asshole."
Yeah, go asshole, go asshole, go.
Terms that are uttered many mornings on the Schuylkill Expressway 95 or any other highway in the country, 405, 101, the 13, the 7, and all the 50 freeways that run through Houston, Texas when we were down there.
Yeah, I should record you sometime in a traffic jam. I mean, you're not.
I'm chilled though. When I don't have to be somewhere, I only get anxious when we're running late.
Which is usually every guy.
No, I'm never late. Whenever Robin holds me up, and I have to go, like when we had to go do my taxes last week, I said to Robin had a doctor's appointment at 11 o'clock. We had to be all the way in New Jersey at 2 o'clock. I figured, all right, Robin's appointment's 11 o'clock. She'll be home by noon, 12:30 the latest. It's almost an hour drive to get here. You know what time she shows up? 10 after 1. 10 after 1.
I admit
so then I had to drive all the way to Willingboro, New Jersey.
What the hell are you doing,
like
Robin?
a madman. And I hate driving when I have to rush to get somewhere to be on time. Because this is an appointment. This isn't show up when you want.
Right.
That's when I get angry as a driver. Because then I have to drive like an idiot.
Because you have an appointment to be somewhere.
Exactly.
I know. Listen,
but normally when I don't have to be somewhere, I'm chill. I'm chill.
Chill, just like your radio station.
I'm better than Netflix and chill because I don't watch Netflix because there's nothing on there that interests me.
Tony has the ability, however, to go from chill to crazed in 3.2 seconds.
Not like get a gun out and go up to the car in front of me and blow the guy's brains out kind of crazy.
No, but veins popping and expletives flowing.
That's rare anymore, though. I'm chilled now. I'm a different man.
Was earlier today rare?
When was I yelling?
I think Luigi heard it a couple times.
I dropped some stuff, and then I got mad at the bleeping whores.
I know.
I refer to things that fall as whores.
I really think
because
whatever.
I actually dropped a pair of dikes on the floor.
Yep.
And I yelled at them too.
2 chicks at the same time, man.
See, you know electrical tools. You know what dikes are, right?
Yeah.
When I said, "Can you pass me the dikes?" Robin thought there was another woman.
Who's here? Who's here? Who the F is that bitch? That's exactly what she thought.
But no, I curse inanimate objects. I don't curse human beings, except the Kardashians. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have found a human being who hates the Kardashian clan more than your reporter, Tony Bruno.
Well, first, we have to give credit to Nick Cale for bringing this to our attention. The fabulous, your old producer, Nick Cale.
Where did he find this? Was it in the New York Post?
I don't know, but I got a tweet from him or you actually got a tweet from him saying, "Hey, Tony, I'm on my way to bail you out. Don't worry, Miss Robin, I got him covered." And I opened up the link, and this is what I saw.
Let's go to our Damn I Hate the Kardashians and your correspondent. We were going to do a Florida story. We have a bunch of them. But this one, I think, is the most important story of this week.
So hot.
Dateline, Connecticut. A Connecticut man's distaste for the Kardashians has landed him in jail, Tony Bruno. And at first, people might have assumed that this was you. But no,
and rightfully so.
It is Carl Puya.
Puya!
Puia, 74.
Puya!
He was arrested
Wait, how do you spell his last name?
Puia. Puya.
No, it's Puya, I think.
Puya?
Well, we're going to call it Puya.
Puya, I don't know.
Because I'll say Puya because what he did is something I highly recommend to all the little children out there who want to grow up and be something special and not just a no-talent hack Kardashian.
I hear you. 74-year-old Carl was arrested.
This guy's 74 years old?
74 years old. He was arrested for destroying several of Kim Kardashian's Selfish books at Barnes & Noble in Glastonbury, Connecticut. And he typed a note that he left behind explaining why he was doing this to the staff. And it was because of his contempt for the reality TV star and people like her. Booyah! Security camera footage caught him pouring red liquid over said books.
How many books did he destroy?
There was a
Not
collection.
Not enough.
This book apparently is a collection of Kim Kardashian's favorite selfies.
Oh,
your
isn't that
favorite kind of
special?
photographs.
That's horrible.
My favorite selfie would be her with a 44 Magnum
Exactly.
Don't go
ridding
there.
the world of herself.
Let's not go.
I'm not saying somebody to kill her. I'm just talking about her killing herself.
According to the police, this is my favorite line of the story. 6 of the coffee table books were destroyed in the massacre and could not be revived.
Sadly, the Kardashians are still going strong.
Yes, unfortunately. The 74-year-old
He was
turned
arrested?
himself in. Yeah,
He turned himself in?
He turned himself into police. He was
You
charged.
know what the fine and sentence is, right? He has to actually buy you broke it, you fix it, you fix it, you
that's
broke
horrible.
it, you buy it. He actually had to buy the 6 books that he destroyed, which doubled the number of books Kim Kardashian was able to sell.
That's a huge loss, man.
Unfortunately, I have a feeling that she sold way more than that.
yeah, sadly.
And not only that, unfortunately, he had to pay way more than these things were worth because he was released on a $2,500 bond.
And what kind of jail time is he sent? Is he going to go to jail?
Well, I don't know what does he's being
If he's released
charged.
on bail, then he's going to have to face some sort of charges.
He's charged with criminal mischief. So I don't know what kind of does that require jail time?
So a guy who
or-
throws red paint
No,
on
it's probably going to
Kardashian.
be probation. He'll have to do some community service.
Whatever. I just find it sad. I think that we should start a GoFundMe for this guy. We should bring him on the show. We should support him and say that we should protest and rally behind him, saying that we are with Puya.
Well, I don't. And jokingly, I'm not encouraging people to go in and destroy books in a public place.
No, we're not Nazis, man.
Exactly.
But there's people that are doing worse things,
Well,
protesting for all
the
sorts
least
of
we
stuff.
could do is
Give him a round of applause.
the least we could do.
God bless you, Mr. Puya.
That was more booyahs than Stuart Scott, man, in an hour. Seriously.
Hey, we have somebody here, Mark LeFleur, tuning in from.
Wasn't he a former tight end? No, that was David LaFleur, the
David
tight end
LaFleur,
for the
correct.
Dallas
He's tuning
Cowboys.
in from Spain. It is 2:40 a.m. there right now.
Wow, so we got Spain, we got Portugal.
Portugal.
Do we have anybody in Barcelona? Well, that's Spain.
Barcelona. You got anybody in Chile?
I do not
I think
know.
somebody's at Chili's over here at 28th and Oregon.
That's a
Well,
hopping
we
spot.
have-
Yeah, it really is.
Steven, he tunes in
Analysts
every
have
week
to.
from Finland. So we got Finland, Spain, Portugal.
Portugal. Where else? Colorado Springs, Bay Area, L.A. The whole world's listening. And
As
we
they
thank
should.
you. You could have been anywhere else tonight.
You know, when I can look
you here with me?
through. I can look through.
And I appreciate it.
That's the thing about podcast that is so awesome. I can't quite see it as easily from the Facebook Lives and Periscopes, but from the podcast, you can see exactly to the person how many people have tuned in, how many people downloaded where, what they're listening in on. And it's interesting to see where all people are downloading the show from. We have like people in Seoul, Korea, in the Philippines, in Australia, in like
it's a worldwide sensation.
It's awesome, and I love it.
And we want to thank everybody. And by the way, I now remember what I wanted to mention the other day.
It's a miracle.
You know what I've been saying for the last couple of years about phones and about I want to get rid of my smartphone and go back to a flip phone? You watch in the next 6 months, there will be an explosion of people who will be doing just that because of all these CIA, WikiLeaks allegations that they're able to, like, if your TV is, if you have a Samsung smart TV, the CIA can, like, spy on your TV, on your video game boards, on your phones, anything that's got a smartphone app in it, the CIA could monitor. Listen, I don't care whether the CIA monitors me because I'm not doing anything illegal. But there's still something wrong with the government spying on its own citizens.
I agree.
And the only way they can't do it is if you have a flip phone.
Really?
And that's why I'm going back to a flip phone.
No, they can still listen in. They just can't get other types of information that's stored in your phone.
That's why you got the burner. That's the flip phone.
Yeah, they're $20.
So that has nothing to do with being able to
No, it's
listen in.
easier to get into your information if you have a smartphone.
It's
a want to tell you
or a smart TV. Did you see all the stuff that they're going into people's personal stuff?
The reason why the smartphone is as dangerous as they claim is because people store stuff in their smartphone. They have all the different types of apps that hook directly up to their bank accounts, that hook up to their cloud.
What do you store in your smart TV? Your Netflix account? Who cares?
Well, some people have
DVR
other
episodes
stuff.
of The Bachelor? I don't know. What?
I have no idea.
And by the way, anybody who does DVR The Bachelor should be a suspect in some sort of espionage or criminal activity, or just sheer stupidity.
I've DVR'd it once or twice.
No way.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Really?
I did. As the great Fred Durst once said, I did it all for the nookie, bro.
I don't even know what to say at this point.
Don't say anything.
I like this. Steven Summers says, my wife works for Nokia. She says that every time you take a selfie, it should say you've been hacked.
It's true, too.
I like that.
Because Kim Kardashian doesn't have enough people around her where she can
don't they
take pictures.
paparazzi constantly taking pictures?
But I'm saying that she has an entourage. If somebody wants to take a picture, she wants to take a picture with somebody, don't you think you would give it to a photographer? Like when Robin and I are out, we see a couple, they're at a fountain or something. I'll say, hey, do you want us to take a picture?
Sure.
And they always say yes.
Yeah.
You only take a selfie when there's nobody else around.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
Or if you're on a deserted island and you have nobody there and you can't get a seagull to hang or you don't have a drone around. That's the only reason for selfies.
I know. I agree.
And
so
somebody
do a book on selfies.
Because
I may go to a Barnes & Noble.
It may be the most narcissistic thing you could possibly do.
It really is.
It's exactly what it is, man. Selfie taking is just nothing but narcissism at its best.
It is. It's stupid. Now, our good friend, Homemade Delish, she takes it, but she takes like the whole group.
Right.
In a selfie.
It's like an Ussie, right?
Yes.
It's an Ussie. And it's the whole reason for the selfie is because it's a thing that she has made it into
It's a thing because everyone's got this look at me thing going on.
But she
That's
doesn't
what it
take
is,
selfies like regular selfies, though. She does it group selfies. She only does Ussies, so I guess that's not really a selfie.
But again, if Facebook and like Instagram and things like that didn't exist, no one would take a selfie.
Yeah.
There'd be no reason for it.
Who is it?
You want to take them, take them. I don't give a shit. All I'm saying is if someone else is there, they can take the picture for you, and you can have a nice picture with your whole body in it. You know what I mean? Your whole person, or both people, or whoever.
I don't
know. Give them the phone, let them take the picture.
Wait a minute, I have breaking news on the NFL Booyah Wire. It could be the word of the night. Booyah! According to Ed Werder of ESPN.
It's a credible source, Tony.
He's a great source. He's in Dallas, of course, to Ed Werder. Based in Dallas, covers the Cowboys, but covers a lot of NFL stuff for ESPN. He says the Houston Texans are concerned about the prospect of losing cornerback A.J. Bouye to the Philadelphia Eagles. A.J. who?
Okay, don't worry about it. Enjoy the win, man.
Booyah!
Exactly right.
I love it.
The Texans are going to have a counteroffer, though, because he's a restricted free agent. Prize of this year's free agent cornerback class. even though he's only started 19 games in 4 seasons.
That's
in
a
the
hell of
NFL.
a prize right there, Tony.
I thought the Sixers would probably try to pick him up in the draft, like in the 3rd pick in the draft, or trade a couple second-rounders for him.
Hey, you can get those are valuable assets, Tony.
No doubt about it.
Valuable assets. How about but anyway, and I know we don't want to touch on the NBA too much, but you got to get up to Dirk, man.
Absolutely.
30,000 points, 6th player in NBA history to do that.
And the first,
the
first white dude. Would you call him Aryan or white?
He's
What would you
Aryan.
call
He's more
Dirk?
Aryan. He's more Aryan.
If you're German and your complexion is light-skinned, are you considered white, Robin? Would Dirk Nowitzki be considered white as a German?
Yes.
Okay, I just checked.
Listen, he's the greatest European player ever play.
Absolutely.
Without a shadow of a doubt. He's the greatest European player to ever play. He's incredible. There's no better NBA players.
We have to wait first, of course, for Dario Saric to finish his career before we can
let the process continue, and then we'll go from there.
Did you see the shots? When he scored his 20,000 points, it was against the Lakers, the guy wearing number 7 for the Lakers then, and the other night when he hit 30,000 points, it was against the Lakers. The guy was wearing number 7, whoever that is on the team.
Number 7 for the Lakers. Was that Derek Fisher on that?
I don't know. I couldn't tell. I just saw that. Talk about coincidence. His 20,000 point against the Lakers player wearing number 7, same kind of a junk shot, and then the 30,000 point was against the Lakers, and he was shooting over another number 7 for the Lakers.
That's pretty cool.
That's unbelievable.
That's very cool.
It is.
It's just like
see what you learn on this show.
It's everything comes full circle, man.
Exactly.
By the way, I want to comment on that
what?
whether he would be considered white or not. Growing up in Europe, I spent most of my time in the Netherlands, but I did spend a couple years in Germany, and then I lived in France and Spain when I was very, very young, so I don't really remember that. But throughout that entire time, I traveled all over. I seriously do not remember there being as big of a deal over there about skin color. I really don't. I don't remember there being, I don't remember there ever having to be a conversation of what is PC to call somebody something, whether they're black or whether, like here in the United States, oh, you can't say black, that's, you have to say African American. Oh, no, you can't say that anymore. You have to say this. I don't remember these kinds of conversations, even though.
Because it didn't happen.
No, I mean,
it probably didn't happen. That's why.
But I'm saying is that we still had people of color that were Dutch and lived there, and they were from other countries, and we just they were usually said, oh, they're from so and so. You didn't say.
Well, Dirk's just a European player. He's
I know.
not American. It had nothing to do with white or black.
I just brought that up because it got me to thinking. I just don't remember these conversations ever being had, and it's just interesting to me that even though there was slavery over there as well.
Okay.
And a lot of the European countries were the countries that were perpetrating the purchasing and selling of slaves. So this is not a proud history over there.
The Dutch were.
They were
the leaders in it, right?
Well, the Dutch and most of the European countries, frankly,
right.
they were. There was a horrible period in our history, and I think that one of the issues that we have here in the United States is that, for whatever reason, descriptive words are just
exactly
it's a hanging on thing.
All right, I don't want to talk anymore about this stuff.
This is something that I just brought up because you brought it up.
By the way,
Dirk Nowitzki one time, and it goes
circles
all the way back to slavery.
See, Steven Summerson said there is no PC here either. It's just so bizarre.
Do they have safe spaces over there?
No,
they do actually. Everything's smaller units. Yeah. It's like an aloft. It's like saying at the aloft.
You know what's interesting to me? This is something that I definitely know is when moving from LA to Philadelphia, I felt much more at home here in Philly than I did in LA, and one of the reasons why is people from Philly, they tell it like it is. They don't mince words very much, which is so much like back home. They, like the Dutch people, they'll tell you, if you've gained some weight, or they don't mince words. They just say it like it is, and so there's not all this PC stuff.
If you got a problem, we're going to tell you.
Yeah.
It stinks.
Exactly.
Chef Brian Harmon also checks in. That was Lamar Odom who wore
That's
number
right.
7.
Lamar Odom. That's right.
Lamar Odom was number 7.
But who was the number 7 the other night? Because I couldn't tell you anybody on the Lakers
God,
right
man,
now
I have
without
no
looking at the back of the uniform, let alone the front of the uniform.
It could be who the hell's playing?
William Cullen.
I gotta check it.
Deaky Dutch.
Freaky deaky Dutch.
Freaky deaky Dutch.
It looks like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to make the biggest push to try to get Deshaun Jackson But don't count out the Dallas Cowboys, even though you were counting them out earlier, Luigi Curto.
I wasn't counting them out. Oh, actually, yeah, I was.
That's why I said you were counting them out.
Well, because, again...
How about the Bucs with Deshaun Jackson and Mike Evans?
That'd be pretty good, man, because the Bucs do need another wide receiver. That's the thing, man.
How about the Patriots in the mix? You put him in the mix?
If he's going there, he's going just for it. How about Adrian Peterson saying he'll take the pay cut to play for New England? For him, it's about the ring at this point, man. That's it.
Exactly.
He's already made all the money in the world. What the hell?
Deshaun Jackson's going to get paid again. I'm telling you, because he's out of Washington. Even though Pierre Garçon's gone, I think Deshaun Jackson's gone. But it looks like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, according to Ian Rappaport, are going to make a very strong attempt to get Deshaun Jackson down there for Jameis Winston. Torrey Smith is out there. The Niners got rid of him, and all this stuff will start blowing up over the next couple of days.
I actually think Torrey Smith has a good chance to go back to Baltimore.
You think so?
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I think he does. I think he's got a really good chance to go back to Baltimore rather than go anywhere else. Yeah, Steve Smith Sr. retiring from there, and they've got nothing but young guys. I think it's a good spot for him. I mean, they have Mike Wallace, but Mike Wallace is really kind of finished.
And of course, Brandon Cooks, which has been the story.
Apparently everybody and their mother's trying to trade for Brandon Cooks all of a sudden.
Eagles, Titans, and Patriots are still in the Brandon Cooks sweepstakes.
I don't know, man.
But the Patriots are in the sweepstakes. It's amazing how they still have cap money, yet every year
they don't pay anybody anything.
But they can pick up guys, and then they'll go out and win another Super Bowl.
Tony, who the hell do they pay on that team? Brady. That's it.
Well, Gronk gets paid, too.
Gronk gets paid, but that's it. They don't really have. I mean, everybody.
Welker gets paid.
Welker hasn't been getting paid for the last 5 years, Tone. You're talking about Edelman?
Edelman gets paid.
Edelman, he doesn't make that much money, though.
If anybody else wants to get in on this conversation, please call 717-363.
No, I'm not talking anymore about this stuff. I'm sorry.
8669.
That's the sports part of this program.
717-363-TONY.
Huh?
It doesn't have to be this conversation, any conversation. And also, don't forget to share, please.
Yeah, share
and share alike.
And share alike.
Share, talk about this podcast, share it with your friends. When it comes out, download it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you've already listened to it, still download it.
And if you have anything for us to say, any suggestions for? Robin and I run Vegas.
You run Vegas?
Well, we're only there. We're there on invitation by Brent Musburger.
Yes.
And his brother Todd.
We'll be there for Selection Sunday. That's going to be fun. I've never been in Vegas for Selection Sunday.
Really?
I've been there for Super Bowls. I've been there for actual games, because I would go to a Super Bowl city, and then sometimes when I didn't have tickets to the game, I'd say, screw it. I'd fly to Vegas and go out to watch the game in Vegas.
It's a better place to watch it. Right,
yes.
Exactly.
Now, we are going to be wined and dined and while we're there, but there is one place that I'm sure Tony's going to want to go. One, to go say hello to John
Avello at the Wynn.
But
and have a turkey Reuben.
I know, Tony.
In the Wynn
Take
Sportsbook.
some pictures for me, you jerk.
I'll take a picture of the turkey Reuben at the Wynn
Appreciate
Vegas
that, Bo.
in the sports book there. We got to get you in there one day, Luigi.
Yeah, I know you do, because meanwhile I'll be downstairs cleaning up the cat litter.
Yes, you
You're
will.
welcome.
Downstairs in the new.
Downstairs in the newly formed cat litter box station over there.
It really is. It's tiled.
It's beautiful.
My cats are the only one that have tile with tile trim around it.
It is nice. They got molding.
They got tile molding.
It's beautiful over there, man.
They got tile up the wall, so in case there's an accident, you go mop it down. You go muck. You don't have to muck the stall like you do with a horse.
There's no mess. There's no mess with these cats, dude.
Hey, no. Well, at least we don't have it here in the hallway anymore, where if they do anything, you know.
I said it last week that by this week we would have the new and improved cat litter box station underneath the steps.
It's simple. You just go down there. You put the litter in.
I'll set it and that's all you have to do.
No, you have to clean it every once in a while.
Man.
You do have to scoop the poop out and then all that other stuff.
And I'll be doing that while you're getting wined and dined.
And we
We're
thank
not getting
you.
wined and dined.
We
That's
have
my
people
life, bro.
checking in that I don't think I've heard. Jordan Paul Angstadt saying, we miss you here on the airwaves in Philly, Tony.
Are we getting calls? We're getting people in Philly listening tonight?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think that's the farthest location that they're tuning in from tonight.
Yeah.
No, but we have. I have to say, Rich Vittori from Moonshine.
Oh,
tuning
beautiful,
in.
Rich.
We have some of the best fans, I gotta say. They're
Some of these.
you specifically, Tony. There are people.
No, people love the show. Luigi gets love. Joe's not here tonight. He'll be back next week.
But like it's amazing to me how many times people have followed you from show to show to show to show. They keep finding you no matter where you are. It's impressive.
Yeah, even in
very loyal fans.
You don't have nothing? You told me you had a Florida song.
No, somebody sent a Florida update. And I was
but
like,
that's
told me you had something.
That's a guy trying to pick up a 10-year-old boy in his car in Florida.
How about you brief a guy?
We did the story inside of the Florida story. We did the story about the guy.
I have a Florida.
The Kardashian.
Oh, now
guy.
you have a Florida story now all of a sudden. Okay,
Yeah.
so now I got to play the.
No, when we get
I'm
back
not
from
going to tolerate
Vegas,
your crap today. Exactly.
when we get back from Vegas, we're going to Orlando. That's our Florida story.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
I hate you right now. You know that, right?
You asked for it. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome very much. Tony, what are you doing? You're
I
like
don't
so
know.
quiet.
I know.
Like, did you
I'm
lose?
doing my Luigi impersonation.
Yeah,
I'm looking
stop
at
it.
Twitter to try to
Stop
figure
it.
stuff out. That's why I try to focus on the show.
No. See, Rich checks in and says, "Don't worry, Luigi. We'll wine and dine you here in Philly.
Oh.
I'll go to Moonshine and I'll get hooked up over there. I'll get some blackened chicken and gnocchi. I'll get some sangria action. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll get some cheesesteak egg rolls. I'll do it the real way.
And you're close by here.
Exactly.
You're house sitting.
I'm stumbling distance from the house.
Exactly. You can stumble here from Moonshine.
Oh,
It's a long stumble,
you know
but
what
it's a
would
good
be,
one.
although it would be a little bit of a drive.
Take
for
an
her.
Uber.
We the new general manager for the Beasley radio clusters, Joe Bell, and his lovely wife. His wife wants to start bartending. She's never bartended before. She's a retired real estate agent, and she wants to start bartending, but she doesn't want to do like nights. She only wants to bartend during the day. Maybe moonshine, because she loves sangria. She loves moonshine. And I was telling her about the fantastic moonshine sangria there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she could start apprenticing as a bartender during the day at moonshine.
But they live They live
Yeah,
up in Delco, though.
That's true.
That's
Well,
not that far.
hey.
That's not that far from South Philly.
Delco?
It's closer than where you live. It's closer than the Northeast. Delco's closer to here than the Northeast.
I know. I got to change my whole life.
It's an outrage.
Drive 2 hours to the gym. Drive back here.
No, we're going to find you a gym. We are going to find you a gym, get you at least a 1 month.
You have 1 day to do this.
Who are you talking to?
I'm just talking to you.
Hello?
What do you mean 1 day? We're not leaving until Saturday.
That's true. Tomorrow's
matter with you?
Thursday. I'll
And
be
you're
here.
also talking to Robin Austin, who
All right,
can
I
do
got you.
pretty much anything.
Okay, I got you. No problem.
So there.
So anything else?
Would you stop it on Twitter?
I'm just making sure I want to get the latest breaking news in.
What other breaking news?
I'm not reading stats from NBA games tonight. I wanted to see the latest on the NFL waiver wire and who's being signed. I mentioned Brian Hoyer is signing with the 49ers, and I mentioned Kenny Stills has re-signed with the Miami Dolphins. So those are the two stories. Even though it's not supposed to happen until tomorrow, those are the stories that are spreading around tonight. So the NFL, and the one thing about the NFL more than any other sport,
what's that, Tony?
The first day of free agency, teams swoop in.
Oh, absolutely.
They already know who they want.
Yep.
And they go after him.
Sometimes some of the bigger names, maybe they hang on for a day or two, but you're right. For the most part, they're gone.
Yeah. If you got a guy targeted and you got the money, you're going to go get him. Unless it's a player like Brandon Cooks apparently has so many teams involved. They're just going for the best deal possible.
Well, do you think something happens with Alshon Jeffrey sooner than later, Tony?
I don't think so. Doesn't seem to be a lot of interest based on what I've read.
Which is kind of crazy.
It's funny. Last year, everybody thought he was the greatest young wide receiver in football. Now the guy's, he'll get a job, but he's not going to get.
He's going to get a
he's
job.
not going to get the big money. Oh, he's one of the top young receivers kind of money because he gets hurt a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, he's had some injuries. Well, what about Terrell Pryor?
Terrell Pryor's going to get interested. He's not going to play. I don't think he's going to play quarterback. I think he's going to get action as a wide receiver.
Well, he's supposed to be a wide receiver. That's what
but he's a very, very. It's just he's obviously a guy who can do a lot of different things.
He can. He's
a
very
great
versatile
quarterback in college.
Right.
Decent quarterback in the NFL, but he's a multi-purpose player.
But he's a dynamic wide receiver, Tony. And
Absolutely.
And that's what they're paying him as. I mean, he goes to Oakland. He's Oakland uses him as a quarterback. He had that one huge 93-yard run, and everybody got to see the speed. Then he goes over to Cleveland, and Cleveland says, well, you know what, we're going to put you out as wide receiver. And he's dominating the NFL. So I think he's going to get a massive deal, man. Someone's going to pay him big money. I don't think Cleveland's going to bring him back.
It's going to be amazing how many wide receivers who are free agents are going to get paid this year. That's how bad it is in the NFL around the league with wide. You think there's 1 million wide receivers? It's not obviously quarterback's the hardest thing to find. Finding great wide receivers now in the way the NFL is a pass-happy league,
sure,
it's really one of the most difficult things to do. Because, Danny Amendola's bounced around, right? But where does he fit best? New England,
Fits
right?
best in New England, right.
In St. Louis, hurt. Eagles, no impact at all, hurt.
Sure.
Goes back to New England, superstar.
Right. Well, not superstar, but a contributing piece.
No, not superstar, but it's a Super Bowl champion.
Well, he's a Super Bowl champion, by default, because he happened to be,
Patrick Chung was with the Patriots, won a couple Super Bowls, leaves, comes to the Eagles, stinks it up here, goes back to the Patriots and wins a couple more Super Bowls. It's just an amazing what organizations who have their stuff together and have continuity, especially at head coach and quarterback, how much easier it is to just find pieces and keep reloading.
Tony, because with a team like that, with an organization like the Patriots, and I'm not sitting here trying to praise them like they're the end-all, be-all, but they are. The thing is, with them, it's really plug and play. That's really all it is. It doesn't matter who it is. You just put them in because it's two things. It's Belichick and it's Brady.
Exactly.
And everything else doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Tony, why don't we'll take one more call before we get off the air?
Let's take one more call.
Get off the air. So again, we don't have any call screen here, so it's 215-828. You're on the line.
Hello?
Caller?
I think the free agency frenzy started last week at the tequila thing when Luigi got picked up by the caller that won the ticket.
No, that wasn't me, man. She came with the Tony Romo lookalike.
Yes, she did not. Everybody thought that she was making a move on Luigi, but she wasn't. The lovely Emily.
No, nobody was making
escorted.
Yeah, she brought.
And who else was there? We haven't heard
brought
from.
sand to the beach.
Yes, she did. You know who else was there? Our buddy
Zig, man.
Ziggy was there.
Ziggy was there too. But who was not there?
Glenside Charlie was not there.
That's
and Dean, the fabulous Dean, was not there.
Dean.
This is Dean, right?
No, this is Glenside Charlie.
Oh my God, Robin.
Oh, really?
Jesus, Robin.
Doesn't it sound like Dean?
No,
I knew it was Glenside Charlie after the first syllable came out of his mouth.
Oh man,
Right away.
big bumpty bump for myself.
I
there.
gave it to you. How about that, Charlie? Can you believe Miss Robin, who's heard you on the Voice of the Tony Bruno Show hotline at least 1,000 times? Why don't you call that anymore?
And she's got, you know what? Because I don't know. I always forget, but I'll start doing it again.
We don't even give the number out.
No,
The
you know
recorded
what?
line,
I don't
Rob.
even listen to that anymore because we haven't been giving it out. So
Let's give the phone number out. People recorded messages are always big.
They did like that. I have to.
Charlie
agree.
was a regular on the recorded Tony Bruno Show Voice of the Fan hotline.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
He had great ones in there too. Didn't we?
One
He
of my
sang
favorite
once. He
topics
sang a
for
happy
the day.
birthday one.
I know. I don't. Seriously, you do see. You have to close your eyes for a second. It sounds a little bit like Dean.
It
They
doesn't
have a
sound
sit-
anything like Dean.
anything
Nothing
like
like Dean. Nothing.
Nothing at all.
It's not even close.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Give her another bump up the
I'm going to give her another one.
Will you?
Did you put yours the same
Yeah,
exact
it was
time?
Did you hear the phasing?
That was nice.
There was phasing.
It was
That was pretty good.
We hit it simultaneously.
Tony, that was perfect time. It was like
Oh.
a church organ. It was
Yes, it
beautiful.
was.
man.
It
That was
was
the
like
most
I got a double.
That was
the
like
most
the
beautiful-
John Wanamaker organ at Macy's for the Christmas show.
And and what's really sad is I just gotten these great. Jeff Hickman said Robin is the best, and Paul Ferreira. There's a bunch of people that were like, "Oh, Robin is great." Well, now I'm getting double bumpty bumps.
So did you tell your wife? Was your wife pissed when you stiffed her out of a chance a week before International Women's Day to have a fabulous tequila dinner and some quality Avion product?
You are right about that, boss.
No, I think she would have went.
She would have went.
She would have went without me.
Does she like tequila?
But we got the question. Yeah, she drinks more than I do, believe me.
Well, she probably has to
keep
put
my
up
eye
with you,
on
Charlie.
her.
I mean,
Gotta-
come on, man.
Wooden leg.
Did she go out in March today and wear red in National Women's Day?
She did not. She's a hard worker. She was out working today. She don't have time for protests and that other stuff.
You're damn right.
Ain't nobody got time for
The world's going
Jesus,
to hell
Tony.
with all these protests.
I don't know. I'm going to protest.
You know what's happening
I'm
right
going
now,
to
right?
protest too many protests.
I'm with like that, and every day's national something.
It is.
Soon will be National Protest Day. That'll be one of the biggest days of the year.
It's like National Dietitian Day today, too.
It was?
Yeah, I think so.
All these made-up holidays, I
I
swear.
mean, it just keeps Hallmark in business because there's got to be they need like more. They have to expand the greeting card sections of all the stores now because there's so many damn holidays.
Just keep bringing the register.
It's an
homes.
outrage.
You know what's funny? It's true, because my birthday is May 5th, which is Cinco de Mayo. But when I was a kid, you've never heard anything about Cinco de Mayo. Nothing. Never.
It's funny to me,
Now,
too.
all of a sudden, it's this big celebration. What the hell is this my whole life?
It's just another drinking holiday.
Yeah, it's
That's
an
all it is,
amateur
man.
hour. It's just another. It's like St. Patrick's Day,
Which we're about to be graced by the greatest amateur hour of all time, which is St. Patty's Day coming up. Yes.
A Cinco de Mayo, obviously, down in California, it's been big for a long time. But now, because it's another day to go out and drink.
William Cullen says International Women's Day. Miss Robin gets dumped on.
Robin lost her rights tonight to be a woman
That's
on this
right.
show.
We stripped her of all.
Exactly.
It's done.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Robin's going to march out and protest after the show.
She's going to march out. That's it.
Why should today
You
be
might
any
block me
different
on
than any
Twitter.
other day when I get dumped on?
No, Robin won't block you on Twitter. I don't think Robin blocks anybody. You block anybody on Twitter, Robin?
I've had to.
Other than the
because of-
stalker?
The only person I've ever had to
I hate
block
to
is a
do it.
stalker.
You need to what? You need what, Charlie?
I hate to do it to her, but she doesn't even follow me on Twitter.
Robin, are you kidding me? You see Robin's face? You see her looking at me saying, what?
There's no way that I'm not following you.
At the turkey, bump up the bumps.
Robin, you got three.
She got the
Yes, I am.
three-peat.
I am totally
That's the
following
first
you.
time ever, I believe, that she's got the three-peat on
I am
one call.
following you, mister. Don't even go there with me. I just looked. I am following you.
Don't go there with me. Don't go there with me.
No, I can't. If in my notifications it shows up that you are following me, like I'll take a screenshot. You weren't following me. If you are,
She just opened it up, and I saw she was following you, Charlie. She didn't just pull one of those.
I didn't.
I just did it, and she started following you
I
because you
pulled it
called
up
her out.
right here in front. I'm doing it right now, and I didn't have to click on anything. I am following you.
I don't know.
Are you following Luigi by any chance?
Yeah, we follow each other.
Luigi.
What do you want me to do, Charles?
Luigi's my man.
He says I'm his
Just
man.
look into that, Robin. Something's fishy going on there.
Okay, how about if I unfollow and then refollow and see if it changes something? I'm going to unfollow you. Unfollow.
Which goes to show Tony Bruno making Twitter
I know,
great
seriously.
once again.
And now I'm going to refollow you and see if you get the notification. How's that? Can you believe that we're doing this live on the air? And how
There's nothing better than to talk about social media on radio.
God, blow my
or on
brains
fake
out.
radio. By the way,
Tony, the world's going to hell in a handbasket.
yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Now,
it is.
here's even more breaking news tonight from the Bay Area. Kirk Cousins supposedly wants to play for the San Francisco 49ers, wants no part of Washington per NFL Network's Mike Silver.
After they franchised him already.
Yes. And obviously I mentioned Kyle Shanahan's out there.
Yep.
They already signed Pierre Garçon.
Mhm.
And now probably losing. I mean, they still have a lot of weapons, but they're going to lose Deshaun Jackson.
Mhm.
They've lost Pierre Garçon. And I know they have some other good players.
Yeah, they got Jamison Crowder, but other than that, I mean, Jordan Reed, he's an outstanding tight end. The problem is the guy's he gets concussion every week.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't know how long he's
Could you
gonna stay.
imagine if Kirk Cousins bails Washington after get all that guaranteed money and he goes out to the San Francisco 49ers?
He would have cashed in on what? About how much money did he make on was it like $70 million?
$77 million
Something like
over
that.
3 years.
Over 3 years, and then he's going to cash those 3 fat checks, and then he'll get a monster deal in San Fran.
But he's not cashing the check if he turns down the well, they can't. They're going to have to trade him, right? Well, they didn't tender the franchise offer yet.
Oh, they didn't do that.
I don't believe so.
You think
no.
you think he's just trying to talk his way out of Washington now, so he can get the large contract from San Francisco? I guarantee you, San Francisco's that desperate they would throw whatever it took to get him there.
I know it's going to be a crazy free agent period starting on Thursday tomorrow, and there are going to be a lot of big names change trading places.
Good man
in the National Football League. All right, Charlie, we'll talk to you soon, buddy. Let's take one more caller here. Since we will not be here, thank you, buddy. Now, Robin and I will not be here next Wednesday, but you must listen to Luigi Curto and Joe Corrado. You know, they did a show replacing us, but it's been a couple years.
No, it was last year. It was last year.
No.
Yeah, it was last year.
It was last year.
It was last year.
Are you sure?
Positive.
The one where you had the guy from the Mob movie?
Chris Cerrone.
Was that a year ago? It seemed like longer than that.
No,
it was 2 years ago?
It was 2 years ago because we were already here last year, and that was back at Dockside.
You're right.
Yeah, that is right.
Yeah.
I told you.
It was 2 years ago, and then there was the night that the Blog Talk went dark.
Yep.
We were doing the show, and the whole system crapped out nationwide.
So like the Statue of Liberty lights went out?
Basically.
Yeah.
And we found but we did find the missing 15 minutes.
Oh, you did?
We found the Watergate
Rosemary
tapes.
Woods, you found her tape recorder?
We found the tapes of Joe and I going, Joe, just hit that button. What's going on? Nothing. You got to talk, Joe. we found.
Oh, you should play that next
We found
week.
the missing 15 minutes. I have to get it out there. It'll be fun though, man. But we got one more call, Tony. We're gonna do this, and then we're gonna log off for tonight. So, whoever 484-804.
I feel like we're playing bingo here.
That's what it is.
Bingo or the Pennsylvania. What was the daily number today?
What up, Bruno?
Oh, what up, Jose?
What up?
What up?
What up, Bruno's? What up, Miss Robbins? What up, Luigi's?
What up, Jose?
And most importantly, what up?
Up so much.
What up, Vegas?
Miss Robbins?
What up, what up?
Nothing much, yo. We going to overtime, yo.
We're going. Yes, we are in overtime. Extra time. And I believe Barcelona has scored again, ladies and gentlemen. They have scored again. It's now 7-1. Did you watch that Champion League game today, Jose?
I didn't have time for TV today.
Oh, come on, man. There's always time.
الأهداف التي شاهدتها شوارشتايجر سلع التسديدة شوف من حوالي 35 متر شوف يطلب الكرة.
I have no idea what that was.
I think that was Arabic soccer.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Where somebody gets killed at the end. Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
In other news today,
yell blow.
Other than that, we have WBC action, yo.
We have the Team USA in its final warm-up before they get underway in WBC action. Did you see that?
Nope.
I think they're playing the Minnesota Twins.
Yes.
That is great baseball knowledge.
They were down in Fort Myers.
Exactly right, man.
According to the World BC tournament experts, or the people in Vegas, we are favored to win the tournament this year.
The Americans, Team USA, is favored to win the WBC?
That's got to be a mistake.
Yes.
I got to look at the odds.
No, I don't know, Tony. That's got to be a mistake.
I had these odds here. I had them last week, but I don't have them now. I don't know what. I didn't print this week's odds. I'll have the fresh odds from Vegas this weekend.
Good. Right from the horse's mouth, as they like to say.
Damn right.
So go ahead, Jose. What's up?
Well, huh?
You're talking about the BC. Go on.
Thank the Flyers for not making the playoffs this season.
Oh, we can officially thank them?
Is it over? Have no playoff action, yo.
Hey, even after their big beat down of the Buffalo Sabres, you're giving up on the club?
I'm not giving up on the club. I'm just saying. We're not consistent enough. We're not lighting up the lamp enough. We're not
scored 6 goals against Buffalo.
That's Buffalo.
That's Buffalo, he says.
Just remember this. Just remember this, Jose. The Buffalo Sabres were the team they beat to win their last Stanley Cup. An omen? I think not.
I was going to say, Tony. Waiting for you to drop the I think not.
What up, Buffalo Og?
Exactly. 75, 85, 95. That's like 42 years ago.
1975, Buffalo Og. If you remember during that series,
the Fog.
We had Fog on ice. The Fog action, yo.
I was there.
One of the games.
I was there for that series. Did you know that, Jose? I was in Buffalo for that Stanley Cup final, including the clinching game, and flew back on the Flyers team charter with the Stanley Cup in the middle seat where I was sitting on the team charter.
Yep.
Of course, nobody had cameras and stuff back then, so I don't have any pictures.
Thank God.
No, that would have been cool to have a picture sitting with a Stanley Cup on the Flyers plane back. I had Jimmy Watson's stick in my hand.
What was the plane ride back like?
That was awesome. You wouldn't,
Seriously.
but that was their second. Remember, that was back to back.
So some of the luster just kind of wore off.
But no, you never get tired of
you
winning
act
the
like you've
Stanley
been there,
Cup.
act like you've been there, kind of thing.
When you win on the road and you win a game on the road and win the Stanley Cup. Remember, the Flyers' first cup was here.
See, you don't got to give me any names. Tell me something that happened on that plane.
Nothing. Everybody was drunk. They're hockey players.
bullshit.
They get drunk after losses.
This is ridiculous.
No, okay. Tony's defense, he doesn't remember the outrageous stories that he experienced himself, let alone somebody else.
Okay, you mean your memoirs?
No, seriously.
It'll be in my book.
Like
Tony Bruno, 140 characters at a time.
Tony doesn't remember. He doesn't remember. Like, I find out about stuff from other people because they're like, remember the time when? And then Tony goes, oh, yeah. He has a trigger memory. That's what Tony has.
Joe Rufino goes, Buffalo, where the women are bigger than the Zambonis.
Wow.
But seriously.
That's horrible.
So, like, when you went up there to do the 25th anniversary with Keith Oberman and
Chuck Wilson. I don't remember anything.
Exactly.
No, but
Exactly.
there's a lot of stories that if you were asked, what do you remember of that day, you might have a couple, but you don't remember all the different details. It wasn't until somebody triggered you that you went, oh, yeah, and then all the stuff.
Yeah, I need to be triggered.
You need to be triggered.
Sort of like Democrats since the election. I need to get a trigger mechanism to let me go.
Hey, woman.
Well, you know what's being triggered right now?
What?
We're already in overtime. We need to wrap it up.
Other than that, Jose, anything you want us to do for you while we're in Vegas or Arizona?
Yeah, say what up, Caesar's Palace.
What up?
Tell Brent Musburger I'm one of his big fans, and we are looking live, yo.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
I have to pay homage to Musburger because when I grew up, that's all I saw from him. NCAA basketball, NBA basketball.
And don't forget the NFL on CBS.
One of the greatest college NFL Today show.
Yep.
And not only that, he did Saturday Night Football on ESPN with Herbie. Every time he mentioned the word partner, we get a drinking game going.
I'm drinking right now to come out. And I will be drinking with Brent over the weekend, actually, so that'll be fun.
Okay, partner. All right, partner.
Beautiful.
All right, Jose.
Other than that, all right, Luigi's, I'll see you later. Miss Robbins, I'm out. Bruno's, good luck in Vegas, yo.
Thank you, pal. Our partner. Thanks,
No
Jose.
problem.
Let's give Jose a roaring round of applause as we wind down and wrap up yet another.
One of our most loyal partners.
Yes, he is. Or in the words of Rick Sutcliffe, as we get ready for another baseball season and another WBC.
It's not that busy, man. It's not that busy.
Exactly right. Not until the real games start, or the WBC, and baseball. How many weeks now? Opening day?
I'm not sure.
A couple of weeks at least. 3 weeks.
I'm
I
not
think.
sure.
Yeah, I got to get a countdown.
I want to say I thought it was. I wanted to say it was just over 2 weeks, but I'm not 100% sure.
You'll have it all next week.
Oh, we'll have it all. We're gonna break down everything, man.
We may have to call in live from Arizona though.
You gotta check in.
Poolside.
You gonna check in? I'm tearing this place apart.
The cats will help you.
I promise you, Tony. If the house burns down, the basement will be finished before it does. I promise you that. It'll be my last will and testament to you. It'll be fine, man. It'll be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, right. You sarcastic prick.
No, I'm not. I'm serious. I'm talking about looking forward to going to Vegas and Arizona.
There you go.
Not to you and Joe in the podcast. No, I'm kidding.
Thanks.
You guys will be fine. We're handing you the keys.
Thank you.
You guys have trained
This is the Obi-Wan to Luke moment right here, man. This
Exactly
is it
right.
here. You see what happened, right? We were hitting drops simultaneously.
I know it was freaky. It wasn't just one. Like one, you can count it off to coincidence, but there was like at least 3 of them in a row.
That's what they say. You know what they say.
See a broad get that booty action?
Lay her down.
Smack 'em yak.
On that, especially on
God's
National
sakes.
Women's Day.
Now I have 2 of them.
I want to thank everybody for listening in tonight. Don't forget you can re-listen to this thing, rewatch it.
This thing.
Go on TonyBrunoShow.com. It'll link you to all the places where you can listen. Stream it live like Luigi does in his car, right?
Absolutely, man. That's the only way I listen to it.
You're not streaming it live. You're just streaming the podcast.
I'm streaming the
replay.
podcast. Exactly. I listen back. Absolutely.
You even take a picture of your screen where it shows you what you're listening to.
Send it to us.
Yeah.
We should do like some kind of special prize.
Yeah.
If people send us.
In fact, you know what? I'm gonna hold. I have prizes for next week. I'm gonna hold one of those prizes for that.
So if you take a picture
yes.
of if you have a car that has obviously Wi-Fi
Well,
enabled.
if you're in the car and you're listening to it, however you are listening to it, Send us a picture of that.
Yeah, and it'll show you on the screen.
Right.
You listen, Tony Bruno Show podcast, and then take a picture of that and send it to dear old Captain. No, I'm sorry, he's no longer with us.
No, don't send your pictures to him.
No.
You send it to Luigi Curto 22.
No, send it to Miss Robin so that it's all in one.
Okay, send it to Miss Robin Austin.
Because this will be an ongoing thing.
Send it to Gmail or to Twitter.
Yeah, MissRobinAustin@gmail.com.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Seriously.
And if you're a woman and just want to send Luigi pictures, just send it to
Well, then they're already doing
Luigi
that.
Curto what?
22@gmail.com.
There you have it. In the meantime,
don't send them. Man.
Don't drink and drive out there, ladies and gentlemen, unless you're going to Las Vegas and you're walking like I will be. Don't text and drive. And most importantly, God bless America. Because after all, it is a beautiful country. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Tony Bruno Show Live podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Tony Bruno Show.
We hope you'll make this a weekly visit. Come back soon.